Want a line and length bowler to hit the target consistently. Here's it, comes in from the far end. Ben Brown, the Hampshire captain, who you would think would have to lead the rear guard action, plays that comfortably into the covers. No run. Hampshire 118 for 5, bowled out in their first innings for 214 in 73 overs. That's replying to Glamorgan's 536 for 7 declared, so that sets up exactly where we're going today. Possible 96 overs. Van der Hookton bowls. Brown down on one knee, plays that quietly into the covers. Looked as if he wanted to drive it, but then just stopped the shot halfway through. There's two in the covers, a mid-off, which is Kieran Carlson, the captain. Mid-on, there's a mid-wicket as well, not too far away from mid-on. There's two down on the leg side boundaries, a square, deep square leg and a fine leg. And two slips, Colin Ingram and Asa Tribe. As Van der Hookton comes into Brown again, over the wicket. Sorts of Thought he was right behind that, I gotta say.
Yeah, it may just have nipped back a fraction. I think that's what might have got the guys out there excited. Want to see some movement. You always want to see some movement. I mean, both teams know that. I mean, Glamorgan obviously want to wrap this up as quickly as possible. So anything where you think, oh yeah, there's a little bit of movement out here, great. That'll just fast forward a probable win.
Yes, they don't want, like the first morning that they had to, when they had to bat, as Brown drives that punch drive wide of mid-off. Carlson in pursuit, gets there now, slides down to collect, and they take 2 runs, move to 120 for 5 to Hampshire in the first over of the day. Don't forget, you can get in touch with us. Glamorgan Cricket at bbc.co.uk, and I'm on X at Rob Phillips here. I'm on Blue Sky, robphillipshere.bsky.social, and Rob Phillips here on Threads as well. So, but we'd love to hear from you. It's been a joy. As Van der Hookton bowls, pushed through square. That's going to test the fielders, but he's going to get 2. He's going to come back for 3. And they do get 3, so a comfortable start for Ben Brown. Good start, 5 runs to him already today. And there's a Hampshire version of the same email, isn't there, Kevin?
Yep, Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. I've got 1 or 2 to read out a point. And one's quite interesting, actually, as regards where this game is going. We'll do that at the end of the over.
Right, okay. Look forward to that. Van der Hookton in for his last delivery. Bowls, and again this time it's Felix Organ who pushes out to the offside. No run. Hampshire 123 for 5.
So Dave Allen, Hampshire's former honorary archivist, has emailed. Now at the moment, let's assume the worst case scenario, Hampshire lose 5 wickets and no runs. That won't happen. Shouldn't. Hampshire lose by an innings and 199. Okay, that's where we're at right now. So bear that in mind. And Dave Allen writes, to avoid our heaviest ever defeat against Glamorgan, this might be worth noting as well, Rob, but I'll keep a note of this email. In Bournemouth, August 1948. We mentioned 1948, didn't we? A couple of days ago, the Glamorgan side. Glamorgan's victory by an innings and 115 made them champions for the first time. Also August 1937 at Southampton, the old ground, by an innings and 68. And in June 1968, Glamorgan won by an innings and 16. So the heaviest defeat so far as McElroy bowls, and there's a nice drive by Ben Brown through the covers, past a diving Ben Kellaway, and that's gone for 4 runs at 127 for 5. So the heaviest defeat that Glamorgan have inflicted on Hampshire at the moment is that innings and 115 when they were champions for the first time back in 1948. So at the moment, Glamorgan are comfortably beating that. I say comfortably. by about 80 runs at the moment.
Yes.
So if they can pick up 5 wickets or less than 80, it'll be a new record. Thank you very much, David. Here's McIlroy, left arm over, bowls, and Ben Brown pushes forward. He's making furious notes here, is Rob. Do you want to take a photo of that just to help?
Yes, that'll be very handy. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. Dave Allen is very good at that sort of thing. Good or bad, he comes up with all the stats. So McIlroy operating from our commentary end, the hotel end. He has 1 for 20 in his 10th over. He's got the ball to swing consistently in this game. Mainly into the right-hander. As that's outside the off stump, doesn't swing quite so much, but then this ball is into its 48th over. Does that come out all right?
Yes, it's come out fine. Yeah. My phone is not just good for the weather app.
Oh, you're fine. I'll tell you what, you need to keep that phone under lock and key because it's got the most useful information on it of anything I've come across, that's for sure. So yes, an innings of 95 if things were to end in the next few balls without a run added, but of course that's not going to happen. Here comes McIlroy, bowls, and Brown is forward. That's a nice line from the 31-year-old left arm seamer. So yes, Hampshire have been thoroughly outplayed in each of the days that we've had so far, and well, they need to show some sort of resistance, some sort of belief, because they go to Essex next week and you guys are at home
to Somerset.
To Somerset, that's right. They'll be Glamorgan will be full of confidence after that one. Hampshire considerably less so as they head to Chelmsford. Nice drive, Ben Brown, and Kellaway can't stop that one either. That's hit beautifully to his left and nicely timed by the Hampshire Red Bull captain, who moves on to 30.
He's played some nice stuff today, hasn't he, already in the opening couple of overs?
Beautiful shot. That didn't swing at all, that one. Just stayed outside off stump. So you can pick us up today in all the usual ways. Hampshire Cricket website on the live picture feed. That is going back to the Glamorgan Cricket website. We're also on the BBC Sport website and app. And on your smart speaker, ask it to play Hampshire versus Glamorgan, and also around the ground on the in-ground commentary. Kevin James and Rob Phillips with you as McIlroy starts again. Bowls, and Brown pushes out into covers, thinks about a single, but the fielders are alert. End of the over, 131 for 5. This one is from Chris Hutchins, Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. Thank to you both and your other contributors for the excellent commentary throughout the game. That's really nice. Really privileged to listen, says Chris, as part of my work as a cricket analyst working from home in the New Forest. Well done to Glamorgan, who have batted and bowled superbly. Kieran Carlson has led by example with bat and one ball with his enthusiastic fielding, that's right. Hoping Hampshire can tough it out. We'll probably need the weather to help. Missing Lehman and Dawson clearly. Happy 25th Utilita Bowl.
Here's Van Hoogten from the pavilion end, looking for a breakthrough this morning. But Organ plays that out. Leighton has been in touch. He says, hi Rob, looking forward to today and hoping we can get our first win here. Got the tee on and feet up and watching from a cloudy but dry Wirral, but originally from Buryport, if you know it. Yes, I do know where Buryport is.
Never heard of that. Where's that?
Buryport is down west.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Testing me now. I said I knew what it was. And Sam has also been in touch on Glamorgan Cricket at bbc.co.uk as Van Hoogten bowls. Straight bat by Organ, no run. Hi Rob and all, listening in whilst revising for my GCSE exams. I remember those. Hoping Glammy can get the job done quickly, not to not damage my productivity for much longer. Can you give a shout out please to the Year 10 Cardiff High School cricket side who are playing at Mumbles tomorrow in the Lord's Taverners Cup, aiming to retain our unbeaten record for the last 4 years. My word, get the Glamorgan scouts down there to have a look. Yeah, best of luck to you. Van Hoogten bowls. Bit quicker that one, but Organ is comfortably down on it.
I've just found Buryport. It's just to the left of Llanelli.
There we are. I said it was down west.
You did, yeah, along the coast. Yeah. I've never heard of Buryport before. There you go. What's Buryport famous for? I love all this sort of stuff.
Well, it's not far from Llanelli, that'd be one thing.
Is that what it's most famous for?
I
Being
don't
west
know.
of Llanelli?
Honestly, people, I'll go there now. Van der Hookton bowls again, and Morgan plays that into the covers.
Here's an interesting fact about Buryport. It was where Amelia Earhart landed as the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, right, yeah, I should have known that, really, shouldn't I? My aviation history is not what it was. Plenty listening today. It's really nice. One of the things I've most enjoyed about covering the cricket is the interaction with fans who are listening or watching on the stream as well. As Van der Hookton bowls from the far end. Organ straight defence, no run, 131 for 5 now. Morning Kevin, Rob, this is from Chris Hutchings. Thanks to you both and your other contributors for excellent commentary since Friday. Really privileged to listen as part of... Oh, you've just read this one, haven't you? Sorry. I'm reading the same email. You must have sent it to both.
Yeah, I know some. Yeah, I must admit sometimes I forget that we're both getting them at the same time. Some of them. Yeah. Yes, that's right. That's nice of people, and make sure they don't get missed.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, keep them coming. As Van der Hookton bowls, and this time ball drops behind Organ. He quickly looked down to see it was no danger to the stumps. It rolled to the right of his off stump, but almost got through then from Van der Hookton. That was a maiden over from the Australian-born Dutch international, who walked over to the waiting. There was 2 of us waiting to do interviews yesterday, who walked over as if to say, well, I'm available for interview, because he took more wickets yesterday than anybody else, but we'd asked for Mason Crane. He was very happy though, Tim, to just walk away. No, I don't. I'm happy for you to concentrate on Mason. He wanted to get back on the bus and back to the hotel, which is a coach drive away. Yeah. I also bumped into the coach driver yesterday. I'll tell you about that in a moment.
McElroy in, left arm over bowls, and Brown pushes forward to a good length ball.
I'll also tell you, the late Terry Griffiths, the snooker champion, was born in Buryport, thanks to Gerontius 1 on X. And Ian Jones tells me Buryport is famous for its power station, now closed, and its marina. So next time you're west of Llanelli, Kev?
I don't think I've ever gone further west than Llanelli, if I'm honest. For those of you that have just joined us, we've had 12 minutes of play this morning. Hampshire haven't lost a wicket yet, as that's played away on the leg side by Ben Brown. Hampshire resumed this morning on 118 for 5. They're now 132 for 5. Ben Brown has moved from 17 to 31 with a couple of gorgeous drives through the offside this morning, and Felix Organ has moved from 6. And in fact, he hasn't moved at all. He is still on 6. And what we have learnt, that at the moment, Glamorgan are on track for not only a win, but also their most comprehensive win ever over Hampshire. They are, at the moment, 190 runs ahead, and they haven't batted for a second time. Here's McElroy bowls, and Brown again, he's defending that one. And we have learnt through former honorary archivist at Hampshire, Dave Allen, that back in 1948 in Bournemouth, Glamorgan's victory by an innings and 115, which also made them champions for the first time, is their heaviest defeat they inflicted on Hampshire. So at the moment, if they can pick up these 5 wickets reasonably quickly, they're not only for a comprehensive win, Rob, but also their best ever one.
Yes, their best ever, and their first one here.
Yes, on this ground that celebrates 25 years this very day. As he's forward, that looks close, and he's LBW. That ball just nipped in, and Organ was forward. And that is a classic left arm over dismissal, where it pitches on, straightens, wraps him on the pad, the finger goes up, and there's the first wicket of the morning. Felix Organ, who didn't add to his overnight total of 6.
Well, we were saying in the first innings, weren't we, that McElroy didn't get much luck, and he had 1 or 2 LBW decisions go against him, but Organ, you can see the look of disappointment as the ball thudded against the pad. I don't think there's any doubt about that one. Not much he could do about that. Lovely ball by Jamie McElroy. And Glamorgan have their first wicket. This may ease the nerves of the old Glammy podcast, who says Bore da, which, as you know by now, Kevin, is good morning in Cymraeg in Welsh.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure listening to you over the last few days. County cricket, ? Don't you just love it, ? Woke up with nerves at the prospect of Glammy bowling 5 good balls to win our first game of the season. It is that sort of thing. I can even say I was walking from one hotel to here, and I almost felt that I thought I felt a spot of rain. So it may be just me getting nervous about what I may be witnessing today.
Just watching that replay again, it's a really good ball from McElroy. That is the second LBW of this innings. There was six in the first innings. Now you might think, well, these umpires are trigger happy. It's not. It's just because Glamorgan have got the ball in exactly the right areas. They've bowled exactly the right length for this pitch, and it's his basically getting their due rewards. The new batter is Scott Curry, playing his first match of the season as McElroy comes in. Is it you? I'm sorry, I've forgotten who's who.
No, it's you.
It is me. That's all right.
I'm Rob, by the way. You're Kevin.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, it is you. It's me. In the first innings, Scott Curry was out for no score, just chipping Tim van der Gooten back. A very simple catch as he tried to work it away on the leg side. Caught and bowled. Scott Curry. So
after his birthday as well.
Oh,
it was his birthday on
Friday?
Saturday.
Yeah. On the back foot. Yeah, so that wasn't a very good birthday present for him, was it?
No.
End of the over, 132 for 6.
You know, we were saying yesterday, and that's the early breakthrough that Glamorgan wanted from Jamie McElroy. A lot of love for Mason Crane out there today after his interview last night after the game. Former Hampshire player, of course, and you were the one who said to me, go and get Mason Crane. I want to hear what he thinks about coming back to Hampshire and being in the wickets. But he was really, really polite, and there was no sort of venom at all. As Van der Hoogten comes into Brown, who hooks that right over it, but it dribbles out to that's Ul Hassan at deep square for 1 run. So Curry will face Van der Hoogten. Yeah, he was quite. He said, "Look, it's been a while now since I left here." It didn't mean anything more to him as far as he was concerned than it would have been. He's just happened to be in the wickets this season. He thought he got a bit of bad luck last week as Van der Hoogten bowls again. Curry plays that behind the slips and gully, and in fact he's angled it. Now it just stops short of the boundary, so he's going to have to run rather than get the 4. 3 runs to him, 136 for 6. And I put the interview up on X last night, and Steve Godwin said, even as a Hampshire supporter, I'm pleased for him and his team. Outplayed us from the very start in all departments, fully deserved to win tomorrow, which I'm sure will happen. Well, they've taken 1 wicket already. But I think he showed a bit of class, Mason Crane, yesterday. As Van der Hoogten bowls. Brown again, there's an inviting gap in the gully region, and he's angled that down for 4 runs, got much more on that, so he moves to 36 now, Ben Brown, 140 for 6.
Yeah, it did sound like a good interview, actually. I just saw a few of the comments on the BBC Sport website. He didn't really make reference to the fact that he came back here and pleased that he got wickets, but he did bowl really well. Seriously well. 3 wickets in the first innings, 1 in the second so far. And yeah, he looked a very good bowler on this game's showing.
Van der Hoogten straight back from Brown. No run.
Yeah, it's interesting speaking to Hampshire assistant coach Jimmy Adams last night about Mason Crane. He just felt that he seemed to be bowling a little bit quicker, getting it through quicker, which of course makes it very difficult for the batters. And you know, sometimes he wasn't bowling as quick as that. Sometimes he was looping it up a bit, but he was right on it, wasn't he?
He was. As is Van der Hoogten now, Brown plays that out. And there is no run. He actually said it's been quite a while ago since I left here, so I'm settled in Glamorgan now. I'm just chuffed. We've had a good few days. Can finish it off tomorrow. We played some really good cricket. We deserve to be in the position. And he did make the point, although they've had an early breakthrough at 140 for 6, he said we have to be prepared to win this game right at the end, where we have to go all day tomorrow. As Van der Hoogten bowls, and on the money again, Brown can only play that into the offside for no run. Hampshire 140 for 6, and Jamie McElroy will be looking to add to his wicket, or Felix Organ LBW in the last over.
Yeah, 20 minutes of play so far, and the clouds beginning to clear a little bit. We've got a little bit more blue sky above us. As regards the other Division 1 matches that are going on right now, Leicestershire, they've lost a couple of wickets this morning. They are 236 for 9 in their second innings. They lead Nottinghamshire by just 54 runs. That's looking like a Nottinghamshire victory in that one, as Jamie McElroy starts a new over, left arm over, and that's to Scott Curry, and he works it on the leg side, and there is no run. Somerset are batting for a second time against Yorkshire, who lost their last wicket this morning in their second innings, adding only 2 runs. They were bowled out for 371. Somerset require 259 more runs with 10 second innings wickets remaining to win that Division 1 game. And finally, after this ball from Jamie McElroy, as that's Fuller and driven up to mid-off by Curry. Sussex in their second innings against Surrey are 82 for 5, so they've lost a wicket this morning, having added only 8 runs, and Sussex trail Surrey overall by 182 runs, and they only have 5 wickets remaining in their second innings. They seem to be in a similar situation to what Hampshire are here. McElroy runs away from us, 2 slips weight. There's 2 on the drive on the leg side as Scott Curry leaves that one. That does come back. That's
dangerous, isn't it? As you said, he can get it to come back in from the off stump of the right-hander.
Just watching that again on the live picture feed. Yeah, I mean,
we got more excited than we should have then, didn't we?
I think by the time it reached Chris Cook, it looked as though it had come back more than it did, but of course the ball's then got to travel between stumps and keeper, so it still has more time.
Something up on Buryport, by the way.
Oh, it's a centre of the world all of a sudden.
You are really going to have an encyclopedic knowledge by the end of today.
I need to book an Airbnb there. Other booking sites available for accommodation. That's turned down to fine leg, and that's going to be 4 runs. Scott Curry off, up and running. In fact, he's on to 7.
So Leighton. I was just going to mention, Amelia Earhart, but also last weekend the town's rugby team gained promotion into the championship. And as you say, it's 5 miles from Llanelli, home to the mighty Scarlets. Does Kevin like rugby? Question mark.
I'll watch it. Yeah, I love the Six Nations. Yeah.
Okay, you've got to go out with that very well. Terry Griffiths was actually born in Fellinfoyle, but lived in Buryport and Pembrey.
Here's McElroy, and again, let's come back a little bit, but it's a good leave.
There's more. My dad worked in the Carmarthen Bay Power Station, Kevin. We also have a lovely harbour there. We used to have a cricket team, but sadly it folded in the 1980s, but I used to play for them. And that's from Leighton. Everything you need to know about Buryport, but we're afraid to ask. And Kevin also says, Duncan Evans says, Rob, you mentioned Buryport. It's southeast of Kidwelly. Thank you for the excellent commentary.
Forward is Curry. Took a good length ball into the over.
Since Friday, post Barrabrith on my part. You remember we mentioned Barrabrith, which is like a Welsh. It's like malt loaf. It's the closest I can come to
Okay.
describing it. Supposedly on library duty while students revising for exams this afternoon. And there's another one I wanted to mention as well, but we'll come to that in a moment because Tim van der Hoogten, no joy for him yet today. Starting his 15th over from the far end. Bowls. Brown plays it out up to mid-off. No run. I thought it was interesting, Mason Crane said we're prepared to go all day if required. I'm sure part of them will think I'd like to be away by early afternoon, but there's blue sky above now, so we shall see whether that
Might do.
affects anything.
Might mean Mason Crane comes on earlier.
Well, yeah. And Van der Hoogten over the wicket. Brown dinks that to deep point and comes in from the boundary. And there's one run, 145 for 6. We've got watching Gareth Williams watching on YouTube in Pwll Llanelli. He's a Bluebird season ticket holder, Cardiff City season ticket holder. Hello to you, Gareth, as Van der Hoogten comes in again. Balls to Curry. Almost got through that one, got enough on it though. He says, pardon the first bit, but it is what he's written. Rob, huge congratulations on making the move from football to cricket commentary. You've taken everything that made you brilliant behind the mic in football. I honestly, he's not family. The clarity, the energy, the storytelling, and brought it seamlessly into a completely different sport. It's been a joy to hear you grow into such a natural, insightful commentator. Well, thank you. You've absolutely smashed it. Congratulations also to Hampshire Cricket for their excellent commentary team, especially Kevin James and Michael Carberry.
I'll tell you what, we need to frame that and you need to give me a copy.
Okay, Van der Hoogten, balls to Curry. Gets much more behind this. It's out to the aforementioned Mason Crane, who's one of the cover fielders. Thank you, Gareth. Really kind. Really kind.
It is, and that's a nice email, that one. Yeah, we'll have that as a screenshot.
Yeah. Well, we've had an email in about Mason Crane as well. I think you've had the same email, so we'll come to that in due course. But Van der Hoogten has now got 2 short mid-ons as Curry cuts. Really good shot. Got enough behind that, behind square, and gets the 4 runs. They won't worry too much about runs, as they're going to advantage of 173 in the bank at the moment. 149 for 6. Hampshire, all Glamorgan want are wickets, so they've got a short mid-on and a short mid-wicket, so they're about 10-15 yards away from the Scott Curry. I think the one is Ryan Hadley, and he's about 3 or 4 yards from the side of the pitch. So, 2 hoping that if he plays an onside shot, it goes straight or just off straight. And there's also Square Leg, who's in from the boundary now alongside the umpire. He's been pretty traditional with his fields, but hasn't had to be too funky with his fields, Kieran Carlson. But Van der Hoogten bowls now, and that goes to that short mid-wicket. What do you make of those 2 fielders there, Kev?
Yeah, it is actually fielding positions that are employed quite a bit here, actually. You see that, you do see that quite a lot, where I think as the wicket gets a little slower, and if a batter just falls over their push on the onside a little bit, doesn't keep it on the ground, then the ball does travel in the air along that area. So yeah, a few sides have employed that, including Hampshire in the past. So you got that one about Mason Crane?
Yes, this is from Richard Blight, who says he sent it to both of us. So feel free to read it twice. So that was good.
Only if it's a good one. Here's McElroy, left arm over. That's pulled away by Ben Brown down to fine leg. He moves on to 38, and Hampshire in their second innings bring up the 150 for the loss of 6 wickets.
He says in a recent podcast, Phil Tuffner pointed out that Mason Crane would be his spinner in the first test. While prone to bowling the occasional bad un, as your leggies do, he's bowling more good uns. Any thoughts, Richard? Says Richard.
Well, I think it goes back to that little conversation we had a few minutes ago, didn't it? Especially the thoughts of Jimmy Adams, the Hampshire assistant coach who would have played with Mason, or certainly been around here when Mason was, as McElroy comes in, and that's bounced a little bit on Curry, who takes the bottom hand off the bat. And he did feel, when asked yesterday about Mason's performance in this game, he felt that he was pushing it through a little quicker than he'd seen for a while. And I think that was the point here, that he was a good bowler here. When he bowled like that in this game, he was great here, but he didn't always bowl like that. And he felt that there were times when he bowled a little bit slower and a bit more loopy, that perhaps he wasn't then at his best. But when he was at his best here, he got the ball through quicker.
Yeah.
And I think he noticed that in this game, that's exactly what Mason's doing. So you could say, as it's played out on the onside, and there's no run, you could say that actually, from what we know here, and what the coaching staff have seen here, that actually Mason is probably bowling about as well as he can, through pushing the ball through a little quicker.
Well, he took a 5 for in his first innings against Yorkshire, and then 3 for 99 in the second. That was at Sophia Gardens. In Nottinghamshire then he had 2 for 95.
There's McElroy's in again. Curry drives. That ball's just come in at him, and it hits the inside half of the bat.
So it's fair to say he's been among the wickets, and of course in the last game against Leicestershire he scored 99 as well. But you've got to say England are looking around for a spinner, because, well, who knows what's happened to Bashir now, having enjoyed his time in Australia as a spectator, which is bizarre, but that's another thing.
Well, you could say that if Mason bowls the way he's bowling and has done in this game, then it was a lot worse. Has he edged that through very nearly? Has that edged through to Chris Cook? That ball just held its line outside of off stump.
Cook didn't go up for it, did he?
No.
I think it came off the pad, actually.
Is it? Interesting that Scott Curry looked behind him, actually, after the ball went past the bat. It's unusual when you play a miss, but clearly he did.
Even more of a giveaway, McElroy didn't appeal.
No, that's right, yeah. Maybe Scott Curry felt a little nick on the bat that nobody else heard. I don't know. It's unusual for a batter, not when they look behind, not to have nicked it. But anyway, there's a deep point gone out for Curry now, as McElroy's in and bowls, and he's hit that out to that fielder, or just slightly to his left anyway. I think that's Hassan. Can't keep him out of the game with bat, ball, or in the field. 151 for 6, Hampshire in their second innings. They are still behind by 171, and this partnership has moved up to 19.
Well, all you can say about Mason Crane is if he keeps taking wickets, he will be in the mix, you would think. Yes. I think Glamorgan would have mixed feelings. He got caught up.
No, he has. He's bowled really well in this game. There's no doubt about it. 3 wickets in the first innings was no fluke, and the 1 wicket that he's picked up so far in this innings is certainly no fluke. He's been on it, and you get the feeling he knows it as well. He is a terrific guy. There's no doubt about it, as you guys know, and you can tell when he bowls. He knows when he's on it, and he's on it.
And in fact, talking of angels. Here is Mason Crane, who is 29 now, and as we've talked about before, spinners, they're a bit like goalkeepers. You don't get many great young spinners, don't get many great young goalkeepers. They mature like fine wine.
Well, he will be a handful here, because whilst he's not getting much turn, he's getting a little bit of grip, and because he can bowl the leggy, because he can bowl the flipper, because he can bowl the wrong one, he has been a bit of a handful on a wicket that's not giving him a lot of help, certainly not a lot of pace off it.
will be happy in his work, I'm sure. It's going to come on from the pavilion end. Curry to face. This will be a test of his technique. Scott Curry. So Crane, 5 or 6 steps up to the stumps, and straight down the middle that one. No appreciable turn.
Good start.
Was a good start. He
Bang
was,
on the money.
Absolutely. And he'll get through his overs quickly. I'm told Ben Kellaway is fit to bowl, if required. Hasn't been yet. As Crane bowls, Curry prods that out to the offside. No run, 151 for 6.
Yeah, he's 1 wicket in this innings. Fletcher Middleton LBW last night was the one that did come back into the right-hander. It's the one you've really got to watch out for.
He bowls again. Curry plays that back. He went back to that one, did Scott Curry. And he's got Ace of Tribe is in short on the leg side again, no more than 4 or 5 yards from the bat. Ingram is customary at first slip. Bit full of that one, and Curry prods it past Ace of Tribe. Behind square on the leg side. Dashes through for 1, 152 for 6. Curry up to 13. Brown, who's facing now the captain, Ben Brown, on 38.
He was out to Mason Crane, wasn't he, in the first innings, right at the stroke of lunch, caught by Ingram at first slip. That was a good catch.
He's facing Crane again now, in from the far end. Gives that plenty of air. Brown prods it forward, back towards the bowler. Picked up by Hadley at mid-on. Crane in once more. Brown negates any sort of spin there by going right to the pitch of it. 152 for 6, just the one off Mason Crane's 12th over.
Yeah, good start, good accurate start. Paul Fowler has emailed hampshirecricket@bbc.co.uk. He says, thank you for the excellent coverage as always. He said, we need an Anderson Panesar type block today. Come on, Hampshire. Actually, their famous rearguard action was actually at Sapphire Gardens, wasn't it? Against Australia, if I remember rightly. On another note, to answer a question from our mate yesterday, was the original commentary position before the hotel, or where was it before the hotel was built? Well, we've been in 2 positions at the far end of the ground, actually. One before those stands were built, either side of the pavilion as we look. We were to the right in some porter cabins. I know, it's hard to imagine, isn't it? Start of a new over, and that's played out to point by Curry, and there's no run. He remains on 13. And then we went up to the Colin Ingleby Mackenzie stand, which is just to the left, and we were at the top, bit like where you've been getting lunch. Yeah, we were in one of those boxes as well. We were there for a little while as well, so...
I actually took the wrong turn in yesterday. I ended up going into the Hampshire dressing room, but they were very nice.
Did you really?
Yeah, well, I started to go through the door, realised where I was. I said, oh, sorry about that. I said, no problem, all right.
To the right of the pavilion?
Yeah.
Wow. That's left alone outside the off stump, through to Keeper Cook. Wow, it's a little bit too far around the ground, as you know, Rob. I don't need me to tell you that.
I met an old acquaintance, Nigel Dean, morning to you, Nigel, if you're listening, and he said, I knew it was around there, and I knew there was a set of steps on the right-hand side that I had to go up, and I went one too far, shall we say. So, but eventually I got my lunch, and nobody seemed offended in the Hampshire dressing room, so it was all very nice.
That's good. Here's McElroy in, and again it's left alone. Again, there's good shape on the ball. Interesting email here from Graham Ward, hampshirecricket@bbc.co.uk. It says, thanks for the great commentary. That's really nice of you, thank you. Which made the past 3 and a bit days more bearable. Despite the gloom of an inevitable defeat, I have come to the Utilita Bowl again today. Happy birthday, Utilita Bowl, by the way. And looks like there's going to be change in the field here. An extra slip going in, is there? Or just some changes of personnel? Something's going on, because I'm reading this email. And on the off chance that something miraculous happens, I've only been watching Hampshire for 5 years. As McIlroy comes in and bowls to Curry once more, leaves that one alone again outside the off stump, but can't remember a game with so many LBW batting failures. I know Glamorgan have bowled well, but is it symptomatic of bad technique and stroke or poor training routines? I was hoping for rain, says Graham. I think it's systematic of some good bowling, and the ball has responded off this pitch from time to time for the Glamorgan bowlers, who have kept the pressure on, and every now and then the ball does just nip off the seam or swing, as we're seeing at the moment. That's a little too straight as it's played on the onside, and it is a length, I'm afraid, that has been hit more often by the opposition than it was by Hampshire, and that's the difference, apart from the one huge stand of 300 plus between
Yes.
Carlson and Hassan, which was a wonderful effort.
Which has set up this, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, yeah.
And given them license to, well, they've been really accurate, the Glamorgan bowlers.
Here's McIlroy again. That's flicked away. They got a leg slip in for that shot,
And he
but
looked
wide.
interested.
Yeah, it was wide of him. But Curry picks up a single, 153 for 6. And David Maples mentions about the LBWs. He says, has anyone mentioned the high number of LBW decisions given against Hampshire? Yes, several times. This is pushing the bounds of probability. No, it's for the reasons that I've just mentioned.
Yeah. Player Pompey on X says, loving the commentary of Kevin James and Rob Phillips from the Utilita Bowl. Rob wisely resisted saying Mac the Knife got organ out. As Mason Crane comes in from the far side, a bit of bounce there. Curry dealt with it, just dribbled in a couple of feet away from his back, from his bat. And he has the company of Asa Tribe about 4 yards away. Crane bowls, cut this time, beats the man at backward point. But there's a boundary rider, which is Tim van der Hoogten, gets across there. Curry dashes through for 2. And Hampshire go to 155 for 6. As Crane passes the ball from one hand to the other, and Curry steps forward, takes a big step forward that time to play a straight bat. He turns again. Can Glamorgan make another breakthrough? They've got one already this morning. Crane bowls, and Curry on that. Just rolls along to the short mid on, actually short mid wicket. No run, 155 for 6. Sun is out. Crane bowls. Curry stretches, plays it into the offside. Again, no run. Stalemate at the moment. Just 2 runs off this over from Mason Crane, his 13th, 1 for 29. Second slip moves in now. Very close to Colin Ingram in the first slip position. But Curry plays it back down to the bowler. Tidy over. 2 runs off it. Hampshire 155 for 6. Still trailing by 167. And there are 85 more overs to go today. Garen Jones on X says, hope you don't mind me saying, Rob, but your voice reminds me of the few occasions when we couldn't get to a Swansea City game and you almost inevitably call of Michu. He's a former Swansea player. Loving the comms from everyone at Hampshire too, but hope Glam can finish it off. Honestly, I love doing cricket. I've never had this much praise.
Poor old Nick Webb.
Yeah.
He's probably listening, saying, I'll never get back.
Oh no. There's only one Nick Webb,
Yeah.
and before him only one Edward Bevan.
That's for sure. That's a little fuller this time from McIlroy, and he's driven up to mid-off by Ben Brown, and the sun gets a little stronger overhead as we see a little bit more blue sky as well as the white fluffy clouds begin to part. Yes, Nick Webb, normal BBC Wales commentator, we wish him well. He's making a good recovery, isn't he, from by all accounts?
He is, yeah. He had an unexpectedly long delay in New Zealand because of health, but he's gradually getting back into it. Done a few days here and there.
McIlroy again, left arm over, bowls, and Brown dries but doesn't time that one as the ball trickles out towards mid-on. Simon Jones has emailed Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. Raj Maru, former Hampshire left arm spinner, would know, but didn't Mason Crane have shoulder surgery last year and miss a lot of cricket at the start of last season? I must admit, I don't know that. I don't know if Rob would, because Rob, has only just started doing this, so I'm not sure. Could he explain his ability to bowl slightly quicker? Kind regards and enjoying the coverage as much as any Hampshire fan can. Here comes McIlroy again, short, and Ben Brown just pulls that away. That short-arm jabbed pull that he plays goes down to fine leg. He comes back for the second, and he moves on to 40. And Hampshire on to 157 for 6 in their second innings, and they trail by 165, which unfortunately is still in the territory of their heaviest ever defeat against Glamorgan, should these last 4 wickets go down reasonably quickly.
But they haven't yet had a collapse like they did yesterday morning. I think I'm right in saying they were 5 wickets down by lunch yesterday, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they were.
Here's McIlroy, bowls again, cut away by Brown. There is a deep point. Yeah, Albert Gubbins Middleton pressed Brown out before lunch yesterday, you're right.
And they went from 58 overnight to 132 for 5, and then lost Organ very quickly just after lunch. Do you remember yesterday we were chastened by Chasing the Dragon on X when, I don't think it was you, I think it was Sanjay, had the temerity to say that I was going to report back to people in the Principality.
Oh, yes.
And Chasing the Dragon pointed out it's not a principality, it's a country.
McIlroy to Curry, who pushes that out into the covers.
So there have been developments. There have been developments, Kev, because apparently I said in the similar conversation after Chasing the Dragon had pointed out the error of the ways, and I put it right on air. So apparently I said, I think it was talking about wedding parties that I'd joined in when staying in hotels overnight, and I used the word abstemious.
Right.
Wait for it.
Here's McIlroy, bowls, Curry's forward.
This is what I love about doing cricket. It can develop. Anyway, she said, heard it. He said, Chasing the Dragon said, heard it. Funny. Also, well done using the word abstemious about yourself just before close of play. One of only 2 words in the English which use all 5 vowels in the correct order. You can tell them that in the morning and see if they can think of the other one. It's a great one, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
So 5 vowels in order. A-E-I-O-U.
Good grief.
Anyway, I've done some homework on this.
Oh,
And
have
actually,
you?
it's not quite true. There are only 2 words. As Crane comes in from the far end, far more importantly. And that did turn a little, I think, because I'm not sure Brown meant it to go into the offside, and he takes a walk down the pitch to dab down.
So you already know one then?
Well, I did some homework last night when I got back to my hotel room. Crane bowls. Brown gets much more behind that. Straight to cover, no run. 158 for 6. The other word, do we put it out there?
If you want to.
Yeah, okay, so abstemious is one word. What's the other commonly used word? As Crane bowls. That one got up on Brown, but he plays it into the offside. So we're looking for all 5 vowels in their correct order. And there are 2 commonly used words. You know the one, abstemious. What's the other one? You've got 10 minutes, and then I'll tell you. And then on further discovery, I put it into whatever search engine is available, and it seems there are about 47 words, but actually some of them are chemical names, etc. Crane bowls. Good shout. I think that was... I bet he was wishing he had... I think the shot was for LBW. It went screwed it into the onside. Brown has nipped through for 1. He goes to 42. Score 159 for 6. No, it was... Bet they wished Ace Tribe was in there. Bit after the event, he moves in now with Curry batting, because that would have been quick, but it might have been right down his throat, that one. That one turned from Mason Crane. Bowls to Curry. Curry plays it out on the onside. And there's no run. That one, yeah, that one definitely turned. It was off his pad. Wasn't in control of that. So Mason Crane threatening again.
Yeah, it seemed to almost make something happen there, didn't he? Felt a little bit more in the game in that one. A bit more threatening. What you laugh?
We've got an answer already. So as we got the answer, Player Pompey, thank you for this. Are you being facetious, Rob Phillips here? That's exactly the word I was looking for, facetious. So, and there are some people who consider Y as a bit of a vowel. Actually, it's not a vowel in English, but I'm reliably informed, again, this research went deep last night, Kev, that Y is a vowel in Danish.
A what?
Yeah, Y is a vowel in Danish, so if you add the Y, it's facetiously, and they're all in a row.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, here's Mr. Hassan with his right-arm medium paces into the attack, and he's immediately cut away on the offside by Ben Brown. There is a fielder out by the tunnel, and Scott Curry will just have to hurry to the bowler's end for his second. And that's well backed up, actually, by Mason Crane there, as that might have gone for a few overthrows. 161 for 6, Brown on to 44. Right, well... That's a little bit too intellectual for me at this time.
Yeah, quite, yeah. But it's a rabbit hole that you end up going down.
Apologies, because I've just been distracted a little bit from an email as it's played out on the onside by Ben Brown, because I got an email here from Sean Summers, Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. Good morning, Kevin Rob. Last night you were talking about the B&H Cup and Robin Smith, the late Robin Smith. I was lucky enough to see one of his England centuries and many more for Hampshire. I wonder if Kev was playing in my favourite one-day ton. It was at Northlands Road in the 90s in the B&H Cup against Glamorgan. Hugh Morris helping his county to a big score with 159 as Brown works Hassan into the gap in the covers for a single 162 for 6, and Robin Smith powering Hampshire to victory with 155. Can you please ask Rob to reflect on what Hugh meant to Glamorgan cricket? Keep up the excellent work, says Sean. Now, I've just been quickly looking through one-day games in the 90s between these two sides, and I can't find anything at home, meaning Southampton, where Robin got 100 or Hugh Morris got runs. I'm going to have a quick flick of it.
Yeah, there was one.
Was there?
Yeah, 1991 he got 131 as Hassan bowls. The game at Northlands when Maynard made his 243 career best.
Oh, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a B&H then.
Oh no, sorry, no, that was Championship. Sorry, I got.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Wrong.
Yeah,
Apologies.
no. Just let me double check this email because it's a little bit wordy, but I'm sure it said B&H, but maybe. Yeah, I thought it was B&H, but I can't see anything. That and I've got them all up. As Hassan bowls, Brown plays that late into the gully, no run. Okay. I can't. There was only one B&H game or two B&H games actually. One in 91, and it wasn't that one. Hampshire won that. Chris Smith got 142 in that game, his brother. And the other B&H game was 95. And Robin Smith got 83 in that one. It's nicely played through the covers from Ben Brown. That's going for 4. And he now moves on to 49, 167 for 6. Steve James got 50 in that game. David Hemp, remember him?
David Hemp, yeah.
He got a half century as well. And Glamorgan won by 7 wickets in that match. I did play in that actually, yeah. I didn't bat and got 1 wicket. Who did I get out in that game? Oh, Matthew Maynard.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, that makes a change.
Bad scalp.
That makes a change. Anyway, so they're the only 2 B&H games, and the other ones were the old AXA Equity and Law League. Do you remember that? NatWest Trophy game as well. But nothing that suggests that Robin Smith got 100. Well, Robin Smith got 100 actually in 97, 119, but Hugh Morris got 53. Anyway.
Crane into ball, new over, Curry dabs that into the onside, stopped by Asa Tribe, who's in a very short leg, square leg, no more than 4 or 5 yards from the bat, if that even. Ingram is the one slip. There's a backward gully. Now another man moves in just behind square on the onside, about 15 yards, backward square, about 15 yards from Curry as Crane moves in from the pavilion end. Driven up to mid-off, no run. Hampshire 167 for 6. You do feel if there's going to be another wicket soon, Crane might be the provider. He's asking questions, 1 for 30. Balls now, Curry stretches that. He's quite tall, isn't he, Scott Curry? So he can thrust the pad down the pitch and negate whatever turn there may be. I don't think there's a huge amount of turn anyway, but the wrist spinner does extract something from this pitch. Crane bowls again and goes straight past the outside edge. There was a bit of turn there. Yes, he just played down the wrong line. Now it did move a little, yeah. More encouragement for the former Hampshire player, thriving on his return. As he bowls again, Curry right behind that. But you just sense the doubt has been cast now in his mind after a ball like that. Cook took it comfortably behind the stumps. Mason Crane wheels away again. Bowls. No run. That was a maiden over from Mason Crane. Hampshire 167 for 6.
We haven't had a wicket for close on 45 minutes now after Felix Organ went after 15 minutes of play without adding to his overnight total of 6. And Pete Fincham has emailed, he said, is it facetious? You mentioned that, didn't you?
Facetious.
Facetious.
That's the one.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't pronounce it, but yeah. Leighton has also emailed hampshirecricket@bbc.co.uk. Enjoying your commentary with Rob. All excellent, thank you. As Hassan comes in, and that's guided backward a point by Ben Brown. This might just make it or not, but it doesn't matter. In fact, it has. It's just been helped over the line in the end. Good effort. But that is Ben Brown's half century. He moves on to 53 from 63 deliveries with 8 fours, and that continues his good form this season. Got 100 in the second innings here against, 66 in the second innings here against Somerset. He also got 100 in the second innings up at Yorkshire. Second innings this season is his thing.
He's played some lovely shots, hasn't he?
He has, isn't he? Times. Some beautiful shots. Just stabs that out square on the offside. Leighton goes on to say, he says, I'm sure you'll always get a warm welcome in Buryport. I can't think of a reason to go there at the moment, but if I do, I'll bear that in mind. Thanks to both of you for references to my old hometown, says Leighton. How many grounds in Wales did you play at, by the way? Did you play at Llanelli or Swansea? I certainly played at Swansea. I played at Abergavenny.
Oh, it's a lovely ground at
Abergavenny,
£10 a
yeah.
pound.
Yeah. Brownie's forward. Llanelli doesn't ring a bell. They're the only two grounds I could, or obviously apart from Cardiff, they're the only ones I can think of. Don't think I played anywhere else. Might give that some thought.
Did you get hit into the taff at Sophia Gardens?
Oh, probably many times. You know, that's goes
or
without
did you
saying.
hit it into the taff?
I don't think I had the strength to go that far. No. I did get 100 there.
Oh well, there we are then.
Yeah,
You sure you didn't hit the taff once?
No, I think I ran out of puff and strength as the innings wore on. That's played out on the onside, and there's now. In fact, now we're on the subject. My highest first-class score was there actually, 160 odd. So yeah, there we are. I've only mentioned that once.
You say 160 odd. If I've been a cricketer, I would remember it.
I can't. I know it's bad, isn't it? Really.
I think Kieran Castle will remember his 209.
Oh, if I got a double 100, I would. Yeah. That's turned away on the onside by Ben Brown, and he moves on to 54.
Brown has looked really comfortable today, I think. Really comfortable.
You're trying to talk him out now, Rob.
No. Curse of the commentator. That's happened to me often. But
yes, he has. Well, it's. I suppose as a captain, you kind of take these performances personally, don't you? Really, and sometimes it brings out the absolute best in you. And he's played very nicely indeed. Bit more work to do though, as Scott Curry faces Hassan, and that's worked away through mid-wicket. Should only be a single, and Curry moves on to 18. End of that Hassan over. He's bowled 9 overs, none for 24. Hampshire 173 for 6 in their second innings. They are behind by 149.
Caroline Morris in Penturk, which is just outside Cardiff, says, I think you'll find that Y is also a vowel in, guess what, Welsh. Open to correction, she says. Morning to you, Caroline. Following my previous email, she's been quick on the draw here, not to mention W is also a vowel in Welsh. If I'm wrong on that, my partner, who's a fluent Welsh first language speaker, will correct me on that, I'm sure. As Mason Crane looks to make another breakthrough if possible. Jamie McElroy, the only wicket taker this morning so far for Glamorgan. Dispatched Felix Organ. LBW was 132 for 6 then. It's 173 for 6 now. As Crane bowls from the pavilion end. Got that to bounce up a bit, but Curry is right over that. He walks away and prepares to face the wily leg spinner again. Few paces, bowls now. Oohs and ahs, but I thought Curry was right on that. He's had the one in the last over that went past the outside edge, but other than that, he's been relatively comfortable there. As Crane bowls again, that's touched. I thought it was going to be touched through, but he didn't get anything on it. And Chris Cook collects behind the stumps. Crane will happily bowl all day if you let him, or if he needs to, as he bowls now. Driven that time, and a good stop in the covers by Kieran Carlson, the captain. Little flourish of a couple of rolls as he got down there, but you just can't keep him out of the game. He just loves the whole fielding bit as well. He is the liveliest player in the field. As Crane bowls again, Curry stretches that long leg forward, front leg. It's another maiden over for Mason Crane. He's got 1 for 30 and 3 of his 16 overs have been maidens. But no joy yet this morning.
His runs per over is really good as well, less than 2. Just shows that he's got great control. at the moment. Pete Fincham, Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. 1 batting point out of 20. Several have been mentioning that over the last couple of days. Promotion from the seconds on the basis of form for Middleton and Organ. 38 runs for 4 wickets. Average of less than 10 between them. As Hassan comes in and Brown pushes forward out to point, and there's no run. Truly wretched batting for several years since we narrowly failed to win the title back in 2022. Forensically, that's not one of your words, is it? It can't be just bad form given how long this has been going on. Pitch question mark, climate question mark, or is it that we simply can't develop or acquire solid 4-day batters? It's not easy.
No.
It's not easy at all. And remember, this is all being done in Division 1, trying to develop these youngsters, as that's pushed up to mid-off, and we've mentioned that once or twice. It's a lot easier to bring youngsters through in Division 2 than it is in Division 1, simply because nobody really wants to get relegated, so the pressure is there to make sure you finish above the bottom 2 whilst still trying to develop players. And if you cast your minds back to when James Vince and your Liam Dawson's and your Chris Woods were all developing around the same time, Hampshire were a Division 2 team for a little while. That's played back to the bowl and no run.
Tough school, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a hard school which to learn your trade. I think one of the things Glamorgan did in Division 2 last season, well, they've been there for a while obviously, but giving the platform to the likes of Asa Tribe and Ben Kellaway to develop.
Yeah.
And as I say, if you're going up from Division 2, you'd like to think there's impetus there from the previous season.
For sure. Chris Cook standing up now, nice take. Yeah, it just takes a while. Glamorgan have found a formula, clearly. Dave Allen's back on the emails. Apparently I played at Ebervale, 1991.
All right, I used to, one of my joys of fatherhood was taking my 2 boys up to Ebervale cricket nets for training, and my youngest son was played for Gwent at a young age.
Okay.
Used to love going up to Ebervale.
Yeah.
Great coach up there, Shunna Davis.
Sam Bowles, and in behind that is Ben Brown.
Not sure if he's still around now, but he must have been in his 60s, and he played one day and he looked, he didn't run because he was a big guy, but wow, what an artist with the bat he was that day.
Yes, I don't have, if it's the game I'm thinking of, I don't have happy memories of it because I think we got well beaten. Tony Cotty got runs, remember him?
Tony Cotty, yeah.
And we had to stay behind in the dressing room after the game to have a bit of a ticking off. There's a thickish outside edge which has run harmlessly past the slip and backward a point for 4 runs. And that completes another over from Hassan. And it's 177 now for 6. Hampshire losing just that 1 wicket this morning. Felix Organ after 15 minutes. And both Scott Curry and Ben Brown showing some fight near the end of this game. I might look it up. I'm sure that was the game. We got locked. We're not locked in the dressing room, but we had to stay behind and have some home truths. I'm going to look that up now. Having said that, it probably isn't the game.
Yeah. Tony Cotty is, the last I heard, because he's done some stuff for BBC Wales.
Yeah.
He's down in Sussex.
Yes. Well, the last I heard, he had an ice cream franchise.
That's right.
On
I was
Shore
just
and
looking
Beach.
at that now. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
looking at. I thought there was something in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
So, Cots, if you're listening, morning to you or afternoon to you. Crane in from the far side. Good drive that one low from Curry. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I just put in Cotty ice cream in
Yeah.
Google, and
Yeah.
something totally different came up. Some Australian brand, but
Yeah. I bump into him down at Hove every now and then.
right. Crane bowls. Curry hooks that around, but there's the fine leg is no more than 20 yards from the bat. So as if he gets it past the fine leg, then it'll be a boundary, but it's Ul Hassan there as Curry places this up to mid-off, no run.
I've just found the game actually. So I mentioned it at the end of this over.
Go on then.
Yeah. It was actually a really good game.
Crane balls. Curry turns that square, and it's a chase for Hassan. In fact, he's got enough on it to get it to the boundary. Mason Crane has head in hands, but Hampshire proceed to 181 for 6, and this is decent resistance. We've had a poem sent to us. Kev, have you heard this?
No.
Right, okay. Wait to the breaking overs. Gotta love doing cricket commentary for this sort of thing. Crane in, Curry straight bat to him. No run. And Crane will turn again at the far end. Just the 1 wicket this morning. As Crane bowls, that one did jag back a bit at Curry, but he got right behind it. Hi Kevin Rob from Steve Clark. It's never easy watching your side take a bit of a hammering, but top tier commentary can certainly take the sting out of a heavy loss. Here's a tribute to the duo who kept the spirits high while the wickets fell. Here we go then. Though Hampshire was soundly defeated, Kev James and Rob Phillips near retreated. With info and cheer, they kept the air clear and left us feeling well treated. It's a bit of a presumption in the first line, because Hampshire aren't defeated yet.
Yeah, he's put that into his AI.
Do you reckon?
App. Yeah. He's done that before, Steve. So he can't claim that's his own work. he'll probably message back to say, "Oh, I did do that one."
I'm happy to repeat it though.
Yeah. Oh no, that just shows you how good AI is at times, doesn't it? Really. Change of bowling from our commentary end. It's Ryan Hadley, the Australian, into the attack, and he's going to be bowling to Ben Brown, who's 58 not out. He started the day on 17 as. That's just flicked away off the pad. Should be a leg bye. Don't think there was a bat on that one. What's the umpire going to signal? Signal was leg byes. 182 for 6. Hampshire behind by 140, and that's the 50-run partnership, which has come up relatively quickly in 93 balls. So that game in 1991, a Refuge Assurance League match, Eugene Cross Park. You'll know that, won't you?
Yes, yeah, Eugene Cross Park, yeah.
Yeah, well, we kind of had a ticking off because Glamorgan won this, a close game, by just 6 runs. It was a 40-over game. They got 197 for 8. Tony Cotty, 92 not out. Yeah, I do remember that. He played really well. I'll tell you who else played for Glamorgan in that game. Ravi Shastri.
Oh, Ravi Shastri.
Remember him, left-arm spinner? He does a lot of TV work now, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah. And I'll tell you who else played in that game, and he was a nightmare to face. And he didn't get all the credit he's probably due. Bouncer, and Curry ducks underneath that. Steve Barwick.
Oh, right, yeah, Steve Barwick.
Who used to bowl medium pace, but these off-cutters. And he used to cut his fingers across the seam, and he was no real pace. But you couldn't really hit him because he was like quick off-spin.
Yeah,
and on the right wickets where it sort of bit, he was seriously hard work. Anyway, in reply, we were 191 for 9. Oh, off 36 overs. What happened there then? 9 down off 30. It must have rained.
Eugene Cross Park is where the cricket and the rugby field are together. It's one big bowl, isn't it?
Right. That's an interesting reply, that, isn't it? As Curry works Hadley to mid-wicket. 191 for 9 off 36. Somebody must have been injured. But yeah, I just about remember it. Nice pavilion, actually, if I remember rightly. Shastri got 3 wickets in the Glamorgan bowling lineup. There we go. Yeah. Oh, the days of old, eh?
Those are the days.
Those are the days. Right, Hadley is searching for his 2nd wicket of this innings. Bounced out Toby Albert last night. Set the trap. And Albert went for it. Didn't quite get hold of it. Caught backward square leg. Hassan. Curry pushes that into the gap through extra cover. Now, it's a short boundary side, but it won't quite reach the rope. And I think Kieran Carlson, who ran back and fielded that, may just have got some fingertips on that, which took a little bit of pace off the shot.
I think he did, yeah. And then he sort of got off his knees to retrieve it from the boundary. He's not got an overly attacking field again. We mentioned this in the last couple of days.
Thank you to David Boyle, who reminds me it was 162 that I got at Cardiff, and it was 37 years ago. I should have left that bit off, really. That does make me feel old. I think Colwyn Bay is and was one of the most attractive outgrounds in Wales. I never got up to go. I've never been up there. That's the north. That's North Wales.
Colwyn Bay, yeah, very
it.
much north, yeah. North Wales coast.
Hadley in again, past the umpire and bowls. It's a length ball, and Brown just steers it through backward a point for a single. He moves on to 59, 187 for 6.
Yeah, not much in this pitch yet for Hadley, although it's his first over today. The Australian from New South Wales.
Yeah. Paul Sherrington says, did I ever play at Colwyn Bay? No. Not even commentated there either. Wales playing there this year? Are Glamorgan playing there this year?
They are, no. They used to, it used to be regularly Lancashire, didn't it? They used to play at Colwyn Bay.
But now you're in different divisions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hadley in again, right arm over and bowls. Length ball to Curry, who works that to short mid-wicket. Well, Glamorgan having to work a little harder this morning.
Well, I keep hearing those words of Mason Crane last night. We're happy to go all day if required.
Steve Clark has confirmed that it was AI and not his own work.
All right. I liked it though, Steve. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'd have kept quiet. So an hour and a quarter's play this morning. Hampshire have advanced from 118 for 5 to 187 for 6. The one lone wicket taker this morning, James McElroy, is Hadley bowled. A little bit of bounce. Scott Curry does well on his toes to keep it down, and fielded by Tribe, who's a couple of wickets deep at short leg. End of the over. Hadley's completed 9 overs, 1 for 29.
Well, they've been a handy partnership this between Ben Brown and Scott Curry. Not too many scares, you have to say, so far. We're in the, what is it, 60, it's just gone off the screen, but the partnership is now 55, which is the highest of the innings. Brown with 28 of those, Curry with 25. It'll be Mason Crane again. We're in the 67th over, this one. And lovely blue sky, so they are good batting conditions. Very short square leg for Crane. One slip. Bowls. And big shot for LBW. Crane wanted that one. It was an attempted pull around the corner by Ben Brown. Just going to replay of it on the feed now. I can only think he got a bit on it, but I thought good
shout.
It was a good shot. 188 for 6. I think it was given as a leg by as well. Crane bowls to Curry this time. Another big shout. Again, the umpire unmoved at the far end. He's getting closer, Mason Crane.
Well, yeah, just watching this one again, and
that may have been going down.
Well forward again.
Yeah, he was.
But you hear a couple of big shouts like that, you don't want another one from a batting point of view.
No. Crane bowls this time. Curry gets back there first.
Actually, it was given as one
run. It was a run,
yeah.
So it must have been a touch there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crane in once more. Curry gets everything behind that. Big stride forward again. He's used his height really effectively in trying to deal with Mason Crane, who's asking questions. Couple of shots in this over already, one from it. In he comes again, does Crane. Bit more air on that one. Played back to the bowler. Flicks the ball from one hand to the other. Coming in from the pavilion end. Slight change in the field. So Ul Hassan goes to backwards point, and now there's a leg slip in as well as two slips and a very short square leg, a short fine leg as well. So they're crowding Curry. Crane bowls. It's played into the onside, no run. Good over that from Mason Crane. Again, asked the umpire a couple of times for RBW decision, not given. Morning, Rob, says David Bottrell, and broadcast colleague today. Too early for it yet, I'm sure, but with all these right-hand Hampshire batters and possible rough outside the leg stump, might we see Ben Kellaway bowling left-arm spin this afternoon? He says, coffee time here in our apartment overlooking Roth Basin and the Norwegian church, trying to calm the jangling nerves. Hampshire fighting back with positive cricket. And Ben Brown's wicket the key, methinks, says David Bottrell. He's obviously got a nice place on Cardiff Bay as David Bottrell. Very nice area.
It's a good spot.
Lively as well.
Hadley to continue.
As I said, I was talking to someone last night, and I think it was Andrew Hignell, who's staying with the team, that Kellaway is fit. He doesn't often bowl left arm spin in championship games.
Hadley to Brown, pulls that away just over the head of the backwards square leg fielder, goes down to fine leg, and Brown will pick up two. I think Hadley might bowl one or two short deliveries here. There's a deep square leg, and there's that backward square leg saving one, or just about saving one. He's a bit maybe in no man's land, and the fine leg as well.
Yeah, as you pointed out yesterday, it did work, didn't it?
It did. Brown moves on to 62, 190 for 6. Hampshire behind by 132. And if they keep showing this same sort of fight, if and when they do go down in this game, then it won't be the heaviest defeat ever against Glamorgan, as we've mentioned a little earlier, as Hadley comes in again. Bowls to Brown. Brown flicks that away, gets wrapped on the pad. Good diving stop from Chris Cook, diving down the leg side. In the other Division 1 games, Nottinghamshire are now batting for a second time against Leicestershire. They are 3 without loss, needing another 70. So it looks very much as though Nottinghamshire will win that one.
They look powerful, don't they?
Yeah, they do. A good side this year, that's for sure.
Yeah. Really good at bowling attack.
Yeah, we've got them in a couple of weeks' time. Looking forward to that here. I think we're up at Trent Bridge as well, so unfortunately we're playing them twice. Sussex 123 for 6 in their second innings against Surrey, trail by 141 as Hadley comes in short one and Brown ducks underneath that. Somerset at 21 for 3 in their second innings against Yorkshire, needing another 239. That could be a really good game, that one. Josh Thomas, who made 100 in the first innings, is still there, but Archie Vaughan, Lammonby and James Rue are all out. Rue, I don't think he's had a particularly good game in that one. He got 2 in the first innings and 7 in the first. Just at a time when he needs those big runs to keep pushing his claim. Many people believing that he should have a go for England. Here's Hadley, bowls, and Brown just gets outside of the line. Chris Cook doesn't pick it up cleanly. That'll be 4 byes. Signalled by the umpire, and the Hampshire total moves on to 194 for 6.
Well, Hassan has to find the ball now. There we are. That was an odd one, wasn't it?
Steps outside the line and
straight through.
Wasn't it? Didn't even bounce in front of him.
That is
just took his eye off it, didn't he?
That is a bit of a moment for Chris Cook.
Yeah.
Collector's item that through his legs.
He's been a good keeper for a long time.
He's very smart up to the stumps as well. which is a real test of keeping. Colin Ingram for company. First slip.
Hadley again to Brown. Brown's on the back foot, just gets an inside edge onto the pad. Ball just trickles out just a yard or two away from him.
Paul Mockler writes on Glamorgan Cricket at bbc.co.uk. Good afternoon, Rob. Loving the commentary with you and Kevin. I first went to Eberville in 1971 with my uncle Ashley. Majid Khan was my hero. What a player. What a touch player. I love going to matches there. Stuart Harrison played in that game. Tony Cotty took the best catch I saw there, leaping like a salmon to catch John Morris. Maybe Mason Crane should open up an ice cream parlour. He got a 99 recently.
Boom, boom.
Appeals to my sense of humour, that.
Hadley in again. Brown tries to pull that away on the leg side, and that's gone through to Cook. That was a good bouncer, that one. Just seemed to kick off the surface a little bit. Got high on Brown. Good bouncer to end that over. 194 for 6.
Yeah, he says, delighted that Newport County stayed up, aren't we all? Are Barrow the new Watford? Question mark. We shall see on that one. And more on Amelia Earhart. I mean, what more do you want on cricket commentary? Just to clarify further about Amelia landing in the Buryport estuary. According to official records, the Pwll village holds the official UK blue plaque, which states that Earhart landed here in the estuary near the village of Pwll. The plaque is located today beside the Millennium Coastal Path, a Pwll cricket ground. There's always a connection, isn't there? And mark in the water, landing site with official recognition. Mason Crane won't worry about any of that at the moment because he's coming in from the far end to bowl to Curry, who now has a short square leg and a very silly mid-off. No disrespect, but he is really close under that helmet. Curry left. Oh, he played at that and he went past him. Taken by Cook behind the stumps. And that one turned. He's had a couple of belters. It's Sean Dixon under the helmet at Silly Point. Rather him than me. Or Silly mid-off, really. He's crouched down now as Crane bowls and Curry lets that one go. Pwll cricket ground, continues Gareth, adjoins the scene as a very pleasant location where you can watch cricket with a view of the sea. Sadly, the village cricket team disbanded a few years ago, but the ground is now used by Davin's third 11. Crane bowls. Big shout, and he's gone. LBW, Scott Curry doesn't want to leave, but Crane makes the second breakthrough for Glamorgan and ending a stubborn partnership. We're just seeing it on the replay. I don't think there's too much doubt about that unless he'd got a touch, but the umpire says no. So Crane takes his second wicket. Glamorgan have their second wicket of the day, and Hampshire are 194 for 7.
Another LBW, third one of this second innings. We mentioned how many were in the first innings. I think 6 it was, wasn't it? Almost forgotten. But yeah, I guess unless he's got a touch on that, it does look pretty adjacent, especially with the ball sort of going on with the arm, really. It's a difficult one for the umpires not to give if he thinks he hasn't got a touch on it. Just watching it again, and I mean, if the umpire thinks he hasn't got a touch on that, then I'm afraid that's pretty close.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Anyway, just very quickly, we'll wait for Carl Abbott. Majid Khan, I was just looking up his record actually. It's a pretty good one. Apparently he started as a bowler. Cambridge Blue, 63 tests for Pakistan and averaged 38. Played for Glamorgan between 1968 and 1976. And I could quickly look up.
He was such a languid player.
Yes, he was. Making it very easy.
Touch player. And used to wear the straw hat, didn't he, the boater in
oh, really?
the slips. Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
154 first-class matches for Glamorgan, averaged 37.
Didn't he go on to be chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board, something like that? He was a big noise in the PCB, or maybe
oh yes,
selector.
He was a
something like
no-nonsense administrator as well.
that? Yes, that's...
He signed off by fanning match-fixing claims over the 1999 World Cup.
There we are.
So you're right, you've got a good memory. Whoop.
He was one of my faves as well, growing up, Majid Khan. I'll tell you a story. We mentioned Ravi Shastri earlier. Tell you a story about him in a moment. But Nick Abbott, sorry, Kyle Abbott, Nick Abbott. Where am I getting that from?
Do you know Nick Abbott?
Yeah, I think he's a DJ on a talk show host on LBC, if I remember rightly. Apologies, Kyle. Takes guard against Mason Crane. Plenty for company around him. Bowls Crane, and that one came off the outside edge. Well past Ingram at first slip. You're just sensing now that Crane thinks there's... he's got 2 already, and there are more wickets in this for him. He's just warming to his task now, isn't he? Now he's got a wicket. So, right, what are they doing here? Got a... Well, not too many around him now. As it's Brown facing, because Abbott got off the mark with that 1 run. 195.47. And Mason Crane takes his first wicket of the day, but he's got... nice figures, 19 overs, 3 maidens, 2 for 36. Mason Crane hasn't given much away and has taken Glamorgan's 2nd wicket this morning, and they are now within 3 wickets of what would be their first Division 1 victory for 21 years, because they've not been here for 21 years. The excitement builds. Right, this Amelia Earhart is getting plenty of comments, Kev. Things you never thought you'd be talking about in cricket commentary. Okay, it's your fault. You've gone on about Buryport.
I've got to go there now, haven't I?
Yeah, you better had. You'll get the red carpet out for you. Give Buryport more publicity than it's had for many a moon.
Here's Hadley bowling to Kyle Abbott, short. Kyle Abbott ducks underneath.
It says, just to clarify, says Leighton. First of all, hope Glamorgan can finish this off now. Just to clarify this about Portland Buryport, she did land in the estuary, but video footage clearly shows her in Buryport Harbour, where she came out to meet the locals. Not that I was there then, says Leighton.
Was it the first lady to cross the Atlantic?
I think it was, yeah. As I said, my aviation knowledge is not what it was, and even though my son is on the brink of becoming well, he is a qualified pilot now, but on the brink of actually flying
Really?
planes as a passenger planes as a pilot. Yeah,
Here comes Hadley. On the back foot is Abbott, back to the bowler. That means you'll get cheap flights.
oh well, hopefully he's starting in June with Ryanair. Other aircraft passenger carriers are available, but he's had to go through some hoops. 2 years training in Spain, and then once you get sort of you get taken on as a cadet, you've got an awful lot. Currently he's just outside East Midlands Airport, going through exams, etc. That's, you've already qualified. He's got his qualification, but you've got to go through more exams, and yeah.
Right. Well, we should be expecting some short stuff. There's a deep square leg, deep backward square leg, and a fine leg and a short leg as Abbott takes some evasive action, and it goes down past Chris Cook. I think that might have hit Abbott. Just deflected off him, actually. Leg buys, yes, it's just clipped him on the way through.
Whatever happened to the Fast Bowlers Union?
Well, yeah, that's all out the window. Sean Summers is back on the emails, actually, who mentioned about that game, that one-day game that Hugh Morris and Robin Smith got runs. He said, apologies, my memory is fading. It was actually 1989. And I did quickly look it up before I mentioned it. May 1989 at the old ground, B&H match. which Glamorgan won by 8 wickets. Hampshire 286 for 3, of which Robin Smith got 155. Paul Terry, remember him? Yeah. He got 76. He's now down in Australia. There's Hadley Bowles. It's way down the leg side. Good diving stop by Cook. And in reply, Hampshire 290 for 2. Hugh Morris not out 143. Tony Cotty, who we've been talking about, he got 68 as well. Matthew Maynard 43 not out. And those runs were knocked off in the start of the 54th.
The great Edward Bevan, the voice of Welsh cricket, still has been in touch. Apologies, Ed. I didn't see this ex-post when it first came out. It's about half hour old now, but we were talking about Northlands Road, previous home of Southampton. He's reminiscing about that place.
I'm not sure it's great for the old journalists, but yeah, it's good to hear, Ed. Nice to know you're around and are well and still enjoying the cricket. That's down the leg side.
Well, he will love this. It's been a really good weekend because his beloved Swansea City ended their season with a win. He says, best innings I saw at Northlands Road was Viv Richards' 164 not out as Glamorgan chased down 367 to win. Viv struck the great Malcolm Marshall into the flats for 6 to win the game. Ooh. Do you reckon that was a battle within a battle, that one?
Oh, yeah, let's have a look, see if we can find that one. Wow.
Cheers, Ed, thanks for that.
Here's Hadley's switching to over the wicket. This time again, it's a short delivery, and Ben Brown sways inside the line. It's a good carry through to Cook to end the over. It was a maiden, 196 for 7.
So pace from one end and leg spin from the other. With Curry having gone in Mason Crane's last over.
He played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He played 7 times for Glamorgan against Hampshire. So the first one I'm going to look up, 1990. He didn't actually bat in that game, so it can't have been that one. Didn't bat? Good grief.
Yeah.
Now that's the only one that's coming up Southampton, actually. Was that a one-day game?
I don't know, Ed, if you're listening,
yeah,
give us more. Crane Bowls. And Kyle Abbott plays it back down the pitch. There's a silly mid-off, there's a slip and a very short square leg. There's a mid-off and there's a backward point as Crane bowls straight past the outside edge. A mid-on, there's a sweeper just in from the boundary on the offside, and there's a deep backward square leg on the onside as Crane backs off to where, oh hang on, there's another change. It's going to be 2 slips now as Crane bowls. Abbott drives down to mid-off. So Sean Dixon has come to second slip away from that silly mid-off position. Crane in again. And this time Abbott with a slightly angled bat. Plays it down short, no run. 196 for 7, still trailing by 126 Hampshire. Crane in again from the pavilion end. Couple of steps, and that's taken. That first slip by Ingram. Just the edge into the midriff for Colin Ingram. He fell back, but just like he did in the first innings when he took a catch off Crane, his hands were safe. I think this one went straight in and was pouched.
Third attempt.
Oh, well, it was a bit of a bobble, but he's taken it again. And Mason Crane strikes once more. That's his 3rd wicket and Glamorgan's 3rd today, and now they are starting to think big time of a victory in pretty quick time. Hampshire now 196 for 8. It's 12:38. Will we get to lunch, Kevin James?
That's my biggest worry of the day, actually, is whether we're going to have to wait for some food. Anyway, we'll see. Well, we wait for number 10 to come out, Cody Youssef. Nice email from Robin Evans, Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. He says, thanks Kevin Rob for the commentary. I played cricket at Northwood on the Isle of Wight with a chap called Bill Clutterbuck, who was a very good club player and also the groundsman. He became an advanced coach at Bangor University, where he was Matthew Maynard's coach.
Oh, right,
he later went to Guildford, where he was Surrey's groundsman and won awards for his work. A true all-rounder. Indeed. Now, should we just go back to those huge games where Glamorgan claimed victory over Hampshire? I think we might just need to make reference to that, because I think we're in that ballpark. I can't find the email. I know you took a screenshot, or you took a photo. If I can find it.
I've got the photo here if you want it, if you'll be able to.
Well, it's for your records, really. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, to avoid our heaviest defeat against Glamorgan. Bournemouth 1948, when Glamorgan's victory was an innings and 115 runs.
It's innings and 126 at the moment.
Yeah.
Oof.
2 slips. Silly mid-off. Short square leg as Crane bowls, and that one went past the outstretched hands of the second slip. I think that's Dixon there. And Cody Youssef gets off the mark with 2. Actually, it was I think it was Dixon. I think it was Kieran Carlson there. So 198 for 8, and another successful over for Mason Crane. He's really enjoyed his return to Southampton. 3 for 31 in the first innings, and he's got now 3 for 38 in the second of 20 overs.
And it's his control of the cricket ball that's been impressive throughout this match. Probably bowled every bit as well in this game as we saw him when he was at his best for Hampshire. So, there's still 71 overs left in the day's play.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure Hampshire are going to manage to take a large chunk out of that. But Ben Brown is doing his best here. He's 62 not out, having resumed on 17 not out this morning. And again, there is a fine leg. I presume there's a fine leg that's fine. He's off the cut strip, unless that's the 12th. No, he's not. He's playing at the far end of the ground. Here's Hadley short, and Ben Brown ducks underneath that one, so he's around the wicket. So there is a deep fine leg. There is a man on the 45 on the leg side that's about 2/3 back. There is a deep square leg, there is a square leg, and there is a short leg. So I think that tells you everything you need to know about where Mr. Hadley is coming from.
Yes. He's telegraphed it.
But he telegraphed it to Mr. Organ. Not Organ, Mr. Albert.
Albert, yeah, Toby Albert.
And it didn't work for him. I'm sure that's on Ben Brown's minds as he ducked that first one. And this time he does go for the pull shot, keeps it down well, goes out, backward a square on the leg side for a single. And it's 199 for 8 Hampshire in their second innings, following on.
Brown has been really good, hasn't he? 63 not out, seen the wickets tumble at the other end. Captain's innings this, in forlorn circumstances.
Field changes for Cody Youssef. There's going to be a leg slip in. The short leg is still there, the square leg is still there, and the deep square leg is still there. And from this angle, it looks like they're perfectly aligned. No, the leg slip has gone back exactly where
he came from.
Yeah, for Ben Brown. So is Cody Youssef a compulsive hooker? We're going to find out. As Hadley comes in around the wicket and bowls, it's down the leg side, but it is short.
wasn't compulsive then.
No, it was a little bit too leg side, that one. I think Cody Yusuf is expecting it. I think we're all expecting it.
So if wickets, if they're 9 down coming up to 1 o'clock, play on.
Yeah.
I've got to speak to the nation at 1.
That's right.
Not a presidential address or anything like that, just a bulletin into the bank holiday news. And I may even be doing something into the drive programme this afternoon.
Hadley again with the slip, just the one slip. Yusuf on his toes, plays that into the ground. Well played, nicely in behind that one. So 3 wickets today. Felix Organ for 6, Scott Curry 25, Kyle Abbott for 1. 3 of the 5 wickets that Hampshire had in hand overnight have fallen. Just 2 more left before the inevitable. So we've had an hour and 45 minutes of play this morning. Hampshire resuming on 118 for 5. Here's Hadley around the wicket again to Cody Yusuf. That's way down the leg side.
It's a real pleasure. Listen, this is from Jeff Walker in Cwmbran. You remember Cwmbran, where there's the underground parking free. Never forget that. It's about 10 miles up the road from Newport. It's a real pleasure listening to your commentary this morning after the stressful afternoon at Holker Street on Saturday. He's obviously a Newport fan. Talking about Barrow, it's much more relaxing. I'm really hoping Glamorgan can get a win before the rain arrives. Well, the good news is, Jeff, that it's lovely and sunny at the moment as they are homing in on victory.
1 ball left of the over. Needs to be a little bit better directed. It is. And again, he's on the back foot, plays it into the ground. End of the over. Hadley has 12 overs now, 1 for 32.
Paul is really busy. He's on again. What a pleasure it is watching Mason Crane bowl for Glamorgan. A real artist. Shane Moore would be so proud of him. Did Kevin cover the game when Darren Thomas continued to reverse sweep Shane for a ton? My nephew George has played for Brockhampton Cricket Club with Jamie McElroy, who used to work at BSW Timber in Newbridge-on-Wye. Other timber companies are available, who are good customers of our business. Compressors and washers. Other companies are available. Majid used to play with a Slazenger bat. He played an unbelievable innings in Swansea in 1968 before my time. I once heard someone ask Avion Jones, how are you keeping? The best way to address a wicket keeper or a goalkeeper? One of the brothers we talked about is Crane bowls, and a stubborn Brown pushes that away on the offside, but he's not going to take a run to Mason Crane, which probably is understandable. He also says Roger Freestone, an old Newport County goalkeeper, Swansea City as well, used to deliver parcels to us. A lovely man. He does. I think he still does, Rog. As Crane comes in, Brown is solidly forward, no run. And the mellifluous Edward Bevan, top bloke, says Paul. And so say all of us.
Yeah. First part of that email sounded like an advert.
Yeah. As I say, Crane bowls. And this time Brown onto the back foot to just play it back down to the bowler. 199 for 8. It's 12:47. Here in Southampton, same in Wales, the same time zone. That's Crane bowls. Brown right behind that again. So we've learned plenty today already. We've learned that Buryport is really famous now, courtesy of Kevin James and Amelia Earhart, probably. Has Crane bowls. Brown tickles that around the leg side, shy at the stumps, but Brown was always getting in. He's off for 1, and that's the Hampshire 200 up. It's come in 72.5 overs, but of greater concern to them is that they've lost 8 wickets getting that far.
It's interesting. Looks like Ben Brown is going to try and farm the strike where he can. I thought he was going to sort of just take Mason Crane and see what else unfolds, but I suppose you've got to keep the scoreboard ticking along a little bit. Can't just drop anchor at one end and let Cody Youssef take on Hadley, which is fair enough.
Youssef was good enough to deal with that one ball. As I said, he refused to run down to deep point, and on the first delivery of the over, that one. So Mason Crane's figures now 3 for 39 in 21 overs.
6 in the match so far.
Look out, the golden arm is about to return. Kieran Carlson's bringing himself on. I did ask him last night, having scored 200 and also taken a wicket with his one delivery, was he going to do the lottery? I suggested that he should. So Kieran Carlson from this end, 1 for no wicket. Oh, sorry, 1 for naught.
Played away by Brown out towards the vacant extra cover area, and he moves on to 65. Well, he's obviously fairly happy of Cody Youssef taking on Carlson, being the first ball of that over. So what are we, 10 minutes until lunch? From a purely selfish point of view, I hope there's not another wicket this side of the break.
As you know, I do like the Ploughmans.
You do, you all 4 days.
Yeah. I tried to tell my partner it was good for my waistline. She said, well, what was in it? I said, well, pork pie, which rather killed the theory.
Carlson bowls his off-spin forward is Youssef.
But plenty of salad and good things. Really nice, actually. So good. Thank you, Hampshire.
Here's Carlson again. Again, it's a good line of length, and Youssef is forward. Now, Jeff Cox was at this game. It sounds like it was actually a championship game that Viv Richards got those runs at the old ground. Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. I'll quickly read through this as we're getting through this over, as Youssef again is defending. I was actually there for that game, which was meandering to a draw. Glammy were a few down, and I think ex-Hampshire's Nigel Cowley, yes, an off-spinner, came out to join Sir Viv. Oh, Nigel Cowley, I think, played his bit of cricket at the end of Glamorgan as well, didn't he? That's played by Youssef back down the pitch. That's right, Nigel Cowley went to Glamorgan. I've forgotten about that. And Malcolm Marshall comes on and decides to start bowling short to Viv, who ducked a few and then suddenly decided to unleash. As Youssef gets hit on the pad, goes away harmlessly on the leg side, end of the over, 201 for 8. Hitting the great Malcolm Marshall onto the old white canvas press tent for consecutive 6s, huge smiles on their faces. They went at for about half an hour, these two, by which time the cap-wearing king of batting decided we can win this, and he did. Mark Nicholas, the opposition captain, describes it as the greatest innings he ever saw. Me too, Mark, says Jeff. He's a Welsh exile, doesn't say where. Right.
On missionary work in England, yeah. Yeah.
So it was obviously a championship game this, so I was looking up white ball cricket, so I might have a quick look now.
So Mason Crane ready to start his 22nd over to the Hampshire watchful captain Ben Brown, and he tried to pull that, didn't get much on it, down to the short square, or backward square, who's midships really between the boundary and the batsman. And now there's a boundary rider at the square leg, very definitely, as Crane bowls. Brown plays that past the man at silly mid-off, and Crane fields off his own bowling. There's a mid-off, mid-on. There's a backward cover as well. Brown gets right behind that. It'll be interesting to see whether he tries to nick a single to prevent Kyle Abbott having to face the wily Mason Crane with his leg spin. He's been the real problem for Hampshire this morning. Crane wheels away again, and this time it's cut, well actually pulled by Brown, but could have got a single because there was a slight misfield up at mid-on, but he doesn't because there are still 2 balls left of this over. Crane bowls again. Brown, this time he hits it for 4. Pulls that through mid-wicket. So he's got 1 to face, and he's got to get to the other end if he wants to, unless he's just happy for Cody Youssef to face Kieran Carlson. Hampshire moved to 205 for 9. Kevin James and I sweat on whether lunch will be at 1 or not. Crane in. Brown. Oh, that one went past him. I think he played over that.
That's turned. It's gone the first slip.
Has,
I
yeah.
thought that was an edge. Just watch this again on the picture feed. Driving, turns. Good stop. Good stop at first slip there by Ingram.
Colin Ingram, yeah.
Right, I can't find that game for some reason. I'm probably rushing and I've probably missed something, but anyway. Tim Street has sent me an email about a memorable game in 1979, Sunday League game. Malcolm Marshall took 5 for 13, and Tony Caudle,
Yes,
Glamorgan, took a hat-trick for Glamorgan. Hampshire won by 12. Right. Carson bowls, and Cody Youssef plays forward. So we have 5 minutes until lunch. One assumes that'll be 2 overs. And we will see if we come back out this afternoon playing a missing outside the off stump.
Carson threw with one arm up in the air then, as if saluting a moral win.
Jez on email says, can Kev give us the team sheet for the next game? I'm struggling, says Jez. I am as well. That's played out on the offside. No run. I suppose it depends on Jake Lehman coming back from Australia, which by all accounts he's due to, but I don't think it's nailed in stone. I think Liam Dawson is fit for that game, as I understand. It's played out on the leg side, and there is no run. That's about all I know at the moment. So 205 for 8. 2 balls left in this over. Carson over the wicket, flights that one, and that's driven by Youssef pleasantly through point for 4.
Very nice.
It's a nice round of applause from the spectators on the east side of the ground. Enjoying the sunshine here. 209 for 8. Youssef moves on to 6, and that deficit now is down to 113, and with that boundary means whatever happens now, and assuming Hampshire lose, they will not be the heaviest defeat they've suffered at the hands of Glamorgan. That record still stands as that's played out on the offside, so that 1948 record will continue.
Kieran Carson will be devastated, I'm sure. Right, have I got time for one more over before I go and pass on the encouraging news, more encouragement to the nation as they enjoy their bank holiday Monday.
Yeah. Oh, Dave Allen's just messaged to say it might be this record. Glamorgan's 6th wicket record against Hampshire was Viv Richards and Nigel Cowley at Southampton in 1990. They put on 166. Yes, I think it's more that one. Thank you, Chris Drew, who sent me the scorecard of that 1990 game. I probably just hovered over it without realising. Thank you, Chris.
Crane bowls. Right, big shot. I thought Brown got a bat to that, but there's another big shot from Mason Crane. This would be our worst nightmares, wouldn't it, Kev?
He's probably got a little nick on
yeah,
that, I think.
it was.
Otherwise, that's close. Trying to heave that away on the leg side.
Yeah. Crane balls again. Brown thinks this to Ace a Tribe. Short square leg. I'll get the last over in before having to toddle just behind me to impart the good news. Crane again. Brown faces, been really defiant so far for his 69. Tribe Fields. Crane over the wicket. Brown drives, didn't get too much on that. 2 balls left. Yeah. Crane in again from the pavilion end. Brown, battler ready, plays that back down to the bowler. And it looks like it's going to be perfect timing. Unless Crane takes a wicket now, of course. I'll leave you to sum it up in a moment, Kevin, if that's okay. As Crane bowls, Brown pulls, and that goes down for 4. I think that should be the last ball before lunch. Brown moves to 73, and Hampshire go to 213 for 8.
Just waiting to see if the umpires are going to take lunch, actually. They're having a chat. The 2 batters are out there in the middle, and it looks as though we are going to carry on. It's at the umpire's discretion if they feel that extra time is warranted. If they feel that there's going to be a conclusion to this game, and indeed they have decided that, yep, we shall continue to play. Well, Rob's all right because he's ordered a ploughman, so that's not going to change. Let's hope mine stays hot. That's all I can say. Here's Carlson. Bowls, and Yusuf works that away on the offside where there's a big gap just behind point, and he moves on to 7. 214 for 8. So that yeah, that scorecard was a championship game in 1990. Glamorgan in their second innings. IVA Richards 164 not out. Nigel Cowley caught and bowled Raj Maru for 58. There we go. That was in the Glamorgan second innings. A game won by Glamorgan by 4 wickets. Thank you. We got there in the end, courtesy of Chris Drew. Thank you. Right, Carson again from our commentary end, the hotel end. Down the wicket comes Brown, doesn't quite time it, and Carson's quickly across to the leg side to Fields, changing the field now as he brings deep backward square up on the 1. Brown is on 73 not out here. Just moving the deep square leg a little straighter, but only by a few yards. Carson bowls, and Brown scoops it away through the offside, half stopped at extra cover. Flat bat shot there from Brown, deliberately thrown wide there by Carson. And Brown moves on to 74. 215 for 8. Just a reminder, we are playing some extra time here because the umpires believe that we will get a finish, or as close as, for a half hour. Here's Carson into Yusuf. Yusuf drives pleasantly through extra cover. That's a lovely shot. Really threw the bat at that one. Nicely timed. Nobody moved. And Yusuf moves on to 11. So Hampshire at 219 for 8 are behind in the game by 103. Remember, Glamorgan still have the option of batting again. I mean, that's still a million miles away, but just in case anybody's getting excited that there's only 100 runs between these 2 sides, Glamorgan can bat again. That's played away on the leg side, end of Carson's 3rd over, done for 11. And Mason Crane will continue from that pavilion end. Brown 74. It's been a season of second innings for him. Most of his runs this year. Oh, apparently the stadium announcement said 15 minutes. But Joe on the ground, who actually knows the rules, she said she thought it was half an hour as well. But apparently on the stadium it was announced as 15 minutes. take your pick. Those that listen to Hampshire commentaries regularly know that I know absolutely zero rules.
I'll take 15 minutes if that's okay. Crane in from the far end, that went past Brown again. Played at it.
Further confirmation. Thank you, Fiona, Hampshire scorer, who's messaged me to say Glamorgan captain allowed 15 minutes to get the 9th wicket. If they do, another 30 are available.
Right.
So one more wicket needs to be taken by 1:15 for this game to keep going. Otherwise, we are going to lunch at 1:15.
Okay. Glad that's cleared up. Crane bowls. Brown pushes into the offside to point. No run. 219 for 8. Free entry today, so there's a few here. As Crane bowls, Brown been really stubborn in his resistance. 74 from 112 balls he's faced out there. He's occupied the crease. Would have loved to have had a bit more support from those around him, but you have to say the guts of the innings was sorted yesterday by Glamorgan. As Crane bowls, Brown touches that away into the onside. He will get another one now, 75 for him. Hampshire 224-8, and Crane will get the chance to bowl at Cody Yusuf. So the field changes. 2 slips. Kieran Carlson is the second slip. As Crane bowls, Yusuf plays forward, shot for LBW, not for the first time today, unsuccessful, although there have been 2 LBW shots this morning which were granted. Crane again, last of his 24th over. Yusuf pushes that in the offside, but it's fielded quickly and there's no run. Hampshire 224-8. We're up to 6 minutes past 1. We're counting down the time, the clock, for very selfish reasons, let's be honest. But it's been a while since breakfast.
Yeah, that LBW shout looked like the googly there from Mason Crane, but it may just have bounced a little bit too much. Maybe a hint of an inside edge as well, but that's why they shouted. So yeah, 6 minutes past. I'm keeping an eye on the clock more than I'm anything else. Here comes Carson. Bowls. Brown hits that into the covers, and there is no run.
Nice looking shot. That probably deserved more than going straight to Mason Crane.
Carson again with his off spin over the wicket. Brown's on the back foot. That just bit a little bit into the wicket and kept a little low. Brown just readjusting enough as the ball goes out on the leg side. Let's watch this again on the picture feed. And oh, that did turn.
He's proved very useful this game, hasn't he, Kieran Carlson?
He has. Carlson in again. Reverse sweep there from Brown. Plays it nicely. It's going for 4. Got a lot of bat on that. Along the ground to the top end of the ground, and he moves on to 79 now, and it's 224 for 8, and the deficit between these two sides now below 100. 224 for 8. Just a reminder, in the first innings Hampshire bowled out for 214,
and this is the 80th over.
Yes. Carlson bowls. Brown plays and misses outside the off stump, trying to open the face, steer it into the gap in front of point. Two more balls of this Carlson over. Brown will be looking for a single and gets it there in front of square on the leg side, and he moves on to 80, and Hampshire 225 for 8. So Carlson will have just one ball at Cody Yusuf.
So unless it's driven to the boundary, they're not moving, are they?
No, shouldn't think so. Short leg in, Ace of Tribe. Carlson in again. Oh my God, that's horrible. Don't know what happened there. That's a full toss off the cut strip outside of off stump. Called a no ball by the umpire, not even called a wide. That would have been to Ingram's right hand at first slip.
It would have been, yeah.
I don't know what was going on there. It's down the leg side this time.
That one slipped out the fingers.
Yeah. He obviously tried something different there, Carson, which completely went wrong. And the last ball wasn't anything to write home about either. 227 for 8.
He's smiling about it, which I suppose you can in his position. 227 for 8. And still a deficit of, what, 95 now, so it's below the century. Mason Crane.
The new ball has been taken.
Oh, new ball has been taken. Tim van Hoogten. So that may well be it for Mason Crane.
Tim bowling at the Rob Brown throw for Pavilion End, Tim van Hoogten.
So van der Hoogten called on again. He's coming in from the pavilion end, Ben Brown facing. It's played up towards mid-off. Mason Crane 3 for 48, if that is his final ball, you never know. Van der Hoogten 2 for 49 in this innings. This is his 16th over. I suspect Kieran Carlson's effort has finished at 3 overs, no maidens, none for 11. Van der Hoogten's in again. Brown plays that into the vacant space at mid-wicket. It jogs through for 1 run. Cody Youssef will face 4 balls from Van der Hoogten. Obviously the captain reckons he faces pace better than spin.
I guess also you only need a few overs from the seamers, and even if that doesn't work, Mason Crane's got a harder ball to work with. You've got 2 options then.
Yeah, Van der Hoogten bowls again. Straight past the off stump that time. That was the end from which the umpire warned him for running on, didn't he, in the first innings. The pavilion end. There's a knot of people in the Colin Ingleby Mackenzie stand. A few less the other side in the Shane Warne stand. Van der Hoogten bowls. Youssef, I think, was trying to play that on the onside, but it went to point where Crane is waiting. 2 slips. Mid-wicket. Mid-on, mid-off, cover. There's a third man and a fine leg as well. And Crane is at backward point as Van der Hoogten runs in from the far end. Played 2 Crane at backward point, doesn't have to move too far to collect. 12 minutes past 1, Kev, in case you're wondering.
Yes, if there's not another wicket in the next 7 balls, we will be going to lunch.
There we go. The backward point is now being sent out to near the boundary. The mid-wicket is also back on the boundary, or a few yards in. As Van der Hoogten bowls and Cody Youssef gets right behind that. That's 1 from the over. Hampshire 228 for 8. Looks like it's going to be Jamie McElroy looking to add to his the opening wicket today.
Email here from Ralph Brooker, who regularly emails from France, hampshirecricket@bbc.co.uk. This has been awful, he says. On a par with the Essex result. An honourable defeat against Somerset and a win against batting light Yorkshire. This isn't transitional form, it's relegation form. Little to cheer in these parts. I don't think anybody can disagree with that, because Hampshire will stay bottom of the table at the end of this game, whenever it comes. McIlroy then, left arm seamer. He's been swinging the ball all game. It's down the leg side to Ben Brown.
Long way to go yet, though.
Oh, long way in the
can make a
season.
big
Oh,
difference.
yeah. Well, I had one of our BBC commentators message me yesterday. I won't say who it was. Basically, saying, well, you might not see us in Division 2. That might give the game away a little bit. They think they're going up. And I just said, look, early days. But you know, to get one of those first couple of days of May, actually, as you can tell, it's annoyed me still. That's played out square on the leg side, and I shall keep that text and I shall ram it down his throat if Hampshire stay up. I can assure you. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, too early to write off.
Yeah, it is early days, of course. 229 for 8 as Brown moves to 82 with that single.
I mean, effectively, 2-3 wins does it normally.
We were talking about it, weren't we,
Yeah.
before we started to play today? Yeah. You've done some calculations on points about how to avoid relegation. Eh?
Go through those in a
I was
moment.
going to say now might be the opportune time as Yusuf pushes McIlroy to point.
So in 2025, Hampshire finished 8th with 2 wins, lost 3, 9 draws, 145 points. Durham went down on 144. It was quite a finale last day, wasn't it? And Worcestershire had 103, but in 2024, Lancashire went down on 134. Nottinghamshire survived on 155, and look where they are now. 2023, Middlesex went down on 104. Kent were the closest to them. They survived on 111.
McIlroy again. Yusuf gets one that bounces, played into the ground, fielded at short leg.
And Yorkshire in 2022 were relegated with 138 points. Warwickshire survived on 144 points. So as Durham went down on that total, Warwickshire survived with that total. So you just never can tell.
2 balls left, in which, if there is no wickets, we go to lunch. McIlroy into Yusuf once more, bowls, and down the leg side, wrapped on the pad. Ball swinging down the leg side. That'll be a leg by.
That was closer, us.
Just watch this on the picture feed. It always felt leg stumpish, this one, and
Yes, yeah.
even though Yusuf came across a fraction.
We wholeheartedly concur, don't we, with the umpire there?
Probably with lunch in mind.
Yeah.
So, we're at 16 minutes past 1 according to the scoreboards here, which means no wicket, lunch. 2:30 for 8, Brown will face. And McIlroy in past the umpire and bowls, and Brown plays that out safely enough into the covers and turns, makes his way back to the dressing room, and this, after 2 hours and 15 minutes of day 4, sees Hampshire 230 for 8. They're behind by 92. Remember, Glamorgan still have the option of batting again, but Ben Brown has been steadfast this morning, resuming on 17 not out. He's 82 not out, and Cody Yusuf is on 11 not out. The 3 wickets that have fallen this morning: Felix Organ LBW to McIlroy for 6, Scott Curry LBW to Crane for 25, and Kyle Abbott caught at first slip off Mason Crane for 1. We're going to take a quick break, I think, because we've got to go over the other side, and then we'll join you, unless you want to make a quick comment, Rob.
No, I think Glamorgan will think, well, 3 wickets this morning. Let's be honest, they're on the brink, but fair play to Ben Brown, playing a proper captain's knock of defiance, as you said.
We'll join you again in just under 40 minutes' time.
Enjoy yourself on a UK no-fly cruise. Enjoy yourself. There's amazing shows for you.
Enjoy yourself. There's outstanding cuisine.
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. It's all high quality. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. It's all high quality.
Joe Weatherly, as I mentioned earlier, so first ball was very wide outside off stump. Passes harmlessly through to keeper Ben Brown. So Toby Albert into the side, hasn't...
As Ogbourne bowls, and this is driven and, well, it's angled away down to the wide third man boundary. It was a wide delivery from Archie Vaughan, pitched right up.
Well, there's a little bit more blue above us, but still predominantly cloud. It's nicely played through mid-wicket, Toby Albert. That's nicely timed, and that might win the race, the ball, and it does. Nice clip off his toes. Carry on like this, really. As Ogbourne bowls, that's very wide again, and that's hit through square cover, and that's going for 4. Had to reach for that a little bit, Toby Albert, but he was in control of the shot.
Ball in bowls. This is driven away through the offside. Handsome shot from Toby Albert. Shot of the morning so far. Brings in 4 runs, takes the score on to 19. He's got 17.
Osborne comes in again to Gubbins. That's a beautiful delivery. That's left in, bounced through to that second slip. That was a great catch. That was going decent knots as well. To Prest. Prest uses his feet, and that's a glorious shot down the pitch. Leach comes in again. Nice approach, and again short. And that's hammered. That one, there's the one, the gap from Prest. As Overton comes into press, and that's a beautiful delivery. He's nicked, and he's gone. Fantastic delivery. Great catch from Roux, who had to slightly dive forward.
A couple of days beforehand. Gregory in the bowls. This is edged off a flashing drive down through the slips for 4 runs.
Overton again. Lehman cuts that away through backward a point, powerfully, 4 runs. Just a little bit to width there from Craig Overton.
Somerset were pretty good. Gregory in and bowls. It's a hook shot, pull shot, and it's gone. Not entirely, I think, where it was a top edge, and it's gone down to fine leg.
Anthony, over the next couple of that, look forward to that. That's pulled away. That's a nice looking shot. That's going to be at least 4. Short delivery. Picked that up nicely, did Archie Vaughan.
He's done very well for Hampshire since he joined them from Sussex. This again is run off the edge, played with soft hands by Tom Lammonby, and that will bring him 4 runs. He just angled the bat. It didn't come off the face of the bat, but
as Yusuf comes into ball to Vaughan, that's a beautiful shot. Stood tall on top of the bounce, a little bit of width put away for a exquisite boundary.
Here's Abbott in and bowls to. This is edged and caught. Caught by Toby Albert at second slip, and that's the end of Tom Lammonby. He went hard at that ball outside the off stump.
You know, it's very tough to do as a youngster.
Abbott bowls. Oh, and that comes off the inside edge. He was right through James Roux there. He was late on the shot as James Roux.
Kyle Abbott bowling that testing line.
He's in. This is driven away nicely through the offside. There he is. That's the off drive.
He's back. You know, being able to bat long periods of time. As Yusuf comes in again to Vaughan, again that trademark short arm jab, a la his old man Michael Vaughan, and that's gone for another boundary. I'm not sure that's the length on this pitch. Yusuf should be bowling to the short side. You know, duck it. It's not. That's a great shot again from Archie Vaughan. Beautiful shot. Stood tall.
Two early wickets here has helped. Short, and that's pulled away. It's a top edge, but it's going to fly. And it's gone down to fine leg, and it's gone for 4.
He didn't try and hit it that too hard, James Rew. Just moved his weight into the shot and played it with minimum of effort, maximum of effect. Here's Eddie Jack in bowls, and this again is turned away through the onside, this time through straight mid-wicket.
It's good to be back from my first day at the bowl this year as Baker's in, pulled away nicely. It's in the air, it could be caught at fine leg, right on the boundary. Got suckered.
Familiar pause before he bowls. Dawson walks in. Table just uses his feet and lofts that one over mid-on for, has that gone all the way?
Yeah,
gone all the way
6.
for 6. Terrific shot. Dawson in again to Rew, flighted delivery, and that's beautifully played. That's punched away with control, full face of the bat. And he's looked a little bit off colour in the first home game. I think he's going to want to bowl well here. As he comes in again to Rew, who again slaps that now the other side of Kyle Abbott, who remains hands on knees, didn't even flinch.
Baker's in, bowls to Abel. This comes off glove, I think. It's going to go for 4.
There's a lot of questions I myself would be asking as an outsider looking in, as Tom Abel whips Yusuf away through the leg side for another boundary. If you haven't got experience to know how to bat on those pitches, it's a very tough place to be. As Abel again works this one away.
Bowls, Rew drives away through the offside. Lovely shot, beautiful shot. The high, I love the high right elbow as he's a left-hander. This is driven away again beautifully through the offside by James Rew, overpitched by Abbott, and that is going to beat the fielder to the boundary, and that is James Rew's 50. Abbott to Rew, he turns this away, and that's going to go for 4 as well, I think. Looking into the sun, it's quite hard to see. It has indeed. Abbott then, last ball of the over, is into Rew, plays this firmly back up the pitch, and it has eluded the fielder, and that's, I think, gone for 4 as well. So 4 fours in that Kyle Abbott over. In bowls, it goes for the reverse sweep and gets it nicely. Well, that's just the shot to play in the penultimate over of the day, isn't it? Reverse sweep.
So here we are, last ball as Yusuf comes in over the wicket and Rew drives pleasantly wide of mid-off. What a shot to finish off the day. He's played a few of those.
Oh dear.
More expensive than we're used to as Abel works him away on the onside, and we are underway.
Well, as we've been saying, Kyle Abbott is Tom Abel's nemesis.
Baker again. That's clipped away just wide of mid-on past a diving Liam Dawson, and that's going for 4. Didn't initially look as though it had enough legs on it. I'm sure Sonny Baker will test him again with a short one, not on that occasion because it's a length ball, and he's played that late with an open face, and it's run down to the vacant third man area, and that's 4 runs.
When you're turning up, as Yusuf bowls again, driven, sliced, and he's gone. That's a wicket. Sliced into the gully area by James Rew, hangs his head.
Yusuf in and bowls, and he goes away, hits it away through mid-wicket, just short enough there. Wasn't completely convincing. It's gone for 4, and this is helped on its way down to the fine leg boundary. Not sure that's entirely where Will Smead was intending. So it's just the one slip as Yusuf bowls, and this is pulled away and is caught down at long leg by Sonny Baker.
Well, I don't know, if I'm totally honest. Yeah, I wasn't sure what I said, but I'm not sure I said that. Oh, is he caught behind? Oh, yes, he's gone. Pushed forward, thinnest of outside edges. Abel goes, caught Ben Brown boldly.
Country as well. Overton drives that one up to wide mid-on. In fact, he might get a boundary there. The fielder, Kyle Abbott, sort of thought, well, that's obviously going for 4.
Robin Hill, that's another place. I don't know if that's still going. Do a bit of tobogganing down the wicket. That's hit over Eddie Jack's head at deep mid-on, and that's bouncing away 4 runs.
Here comes Abbott, bowls. Oh, that's a big LBW. In fact, he's bowled him. I thought perhaps he'd appeal for LBW, but it's cannon maybe off his pad and straight into the stump. So a terrible leave that by Lewis Gregory. He's dangerous.
Dawson bowls down the pitch, lofting this down the ground for 4. Jack Leach. Dawson bowls, Overton content to play it defensively. That's the end of the morning session. Somerset going in at 240.
All right, here's Yusuf then, who's got first up this afternoon and immediately beats the outside edge of Jack Leach. Again, the carry is
a little more poetic. Dawson bowls, Leach drives, 4 runs. Only just.
I probably should have done. Here's Yusuf from the pavilion end. Bowls to Overton, who's hooking. He's got a top edge, but he's going very quickly down to fine leg. It's gone for 4. Baker around the wicket, 2 slips weight. And bowls. Leach cuts that away. Nice shot. Through point for 4. Timed that nicely. Here's Baker around the wicket. That's nicely whipped away. And that's 4 runs through mid-wicket. Wow, he's timed.
Dawson bowls. Overton is caught at short extra cover by Ben Mays.
What Baker's approach to the tail is, and in fact he realised there that was going to be a full one after the short ball. He gets 4 for it. Sliced through the gully region, shortish boundary.
Dawson to Ogbourne. Gives that one a little bit more air, and there's a misunderstanding. Shy at the stumps, and he's gone.
Yeah.
And he has gone.
Yeah.
And that was, there probably was a single there that Ogbourne wasn't coming, and he's sort of apologising to Jack Leach.
Here's Dawson. Down the wicket comes Ogbourne. He's hit that nicely over extra cover, and that's 4 runs. Nice shot.
Yeah.
As good as anything we've seen for a while. There are just under 53 overs left in the day, so even if Somerset were bowled out, we've got an awful lot of play left. He's come down the wicket again. He hits it high. Is it going over the head of Sonny Baker? Yes, it is. It's 6.
Wow.
At the Oval in the 50-over competition. Oh, yeah, he's hooked that one. He's got underneath it and helped it down to fine leg. That's a scoop rather than a hook.
Experienced hand to try and knock over the last man, and in fact, Jake Ball gets a 4 through the slips, I think that was. A sort of fairly airy drive.
Here's Eddie Jack. Bowls. And that's hit back to him, and that's caught and bowled. And that is the end of Alfie Ogbourne. He didn't quite get hold of that. He tried to smack it back past the bowler, but Eddie Jack caught it two-handed on his follow-through. And Ogbourne goes for 38.
To Gregory bowls. This is run off a thick edge down towards third man, and we'll go to the boundary for the first runs of the. He's in and bowls to Albert. This is driven nicely away through the offside for 4 runs. Over pitch from Gregory.
Here comes Ogbourne bowls down the leg side. That's 4 somethings. Leg buys by 4 runs, in fact. Must have just got a little tickle on that. Gubbins.
Leach again bowls, and Gubbins is back on his stumps, playing that away nicely through the offside. Just a little bit short there from Jack Leach, and Leach again bowls to Gubbins, who gets an outside edge to an arm ball which runs away down towards the third man boundary. Alfie Ogbourne in vain pursuit. 4 more runs.
Oh, one of those.
Yep.
This one from Overton is turned into the leg side by Gubbins, but no run, fielded at mid-wicket. And that is tea.
Yep. And well, the clouds are melting away, which is very appropriate from a Hampshire point of view, because
it's called Stars on Sunday. As Overton's around the wicket, Gubbins drives down the ground. Beautiful shot. That's 4 runs up towards the changing room.
For Leach to Gubbins, we've got a silly point in, and Gubbins goes for the reverse sweep and nails it. Down to the third man boundary.
Playing some lovely shots, does Tom Prest. That's a lovely weighted back foot drive. And we're into the 3rd innings as it's turned away through mid-wicket. It looks beautifully timed as well. Just erred on Two straight there, Overton. Gregory again, bowls, pressed off the back foot, guides that down to third man. There's nobody there, and it's going to be 4 runs. 23, Prest moves on 2.
You know, because he'd be turning it away from the left-hander.
It's Gregory in the bowls. This is cut away down to third man for 4 runs. Short and wide from Gregory, and
now he's bowling to the left-handed Gubbins. Bowls again. Gubbins down the wicket, hits it powerfully over mid-on. Good shot, and use to the feet was excellent there in terms of its marketability, its spreading of the game, etc.
Vaughan in and bowls, and this is again is cut, but this time it goes past Smead and out
shot
to the boundary for 4 runs. Here's Vaughan to Prest, goes for the reverse sweep and gets it. 4 runs, and that's the 100 on the board for Hampshire. 103. Dave Nosworthy was like that.
Leach bowls, Gubbins turns it into the leg side. That might be 4 actually. He's timed that so well. That's 4 runs off the back foot, and that's his 50.
Here's Jake Ball then, right arm over, runs away from us and bowls to Tom Prest, length ball. Prest gets wrapped on the pad, and looks close, he's gone. Jake Ball has done it first delivery. Prest turns around, trudges back, runs in past the umpire once more. And Gubbins cuts that away, and that's gone quickly. He's not run for that. I think it was a bit of a top edge on that one. It's gone very fine. I was looking a little squarer initially.
Bush Telegraph. That's glanced for a boundary by Jake Lehman. Fathers and sons, or cricketers that looked like each other before, and that was very Darren Lehman, that shot.
Proper off drive. Here's Ogbourne to Gubbins in bowls. Gubbins pulls, and it's gone down to the fine leg boundary for 4 runs.
Here we go then. Final delivery. Leach bowls, and Gubbins just quietly turns that away on the leg side, and that is day 2 completed. A maiden over for Jack Leach. Nick Gubbins is 70 not out, returns tomorrow morning. Jake Lehman 16 not out, returns tomorrow morning. Hampshire 146 for 1.
Enjoy yourself on a UK no-fly cruise. Enjoy yourself. There's amazing shows for you.
Enjoy yourself. There's outstanding cuisine.
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. It's all high quality. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. It's all high quality.
Here's Jake Ball then around the wicket to the left-hander Gubbins, who Lehman, who takes his bat out the way. Did he get hit on the arm there? Somerset didn't quite get the innings they wanted. That's pulled away, helped down to a fine leg by Lehman. In fact, it's gone fine, and it's gone for 4 runs. Nicely placed. Moves on to 22 when it's 156 for 1. Ball around the wicket again, short, pulled away by Gubbins, down to fine legs. Gone very fine. Good bit of fielding, not quite.
Now here's Overton, right arm over and whipped through the leg side by Lehman, piercing the gap. A brilliant stop. Oh no, it's gone through his hand. It's trickling up to the boundary for 4. Overton past the stumps and an edge through first slip. It's going to run away for another boundary as Overton's past the umpire this time, and a flowing drive through extra cover again through the gap. 3rd boundary of the over.
If we're bringing experience into it. Short ball, pulled away, lovely shot. Jake Lehman, he's played 1 or 2 already this morning.
Jack Leach doesn't take long to Hit his mark, a reverse sweep from Gubbins, played gloriously, and I think this is going to beat the fielder in the deep. Yeah, it does. Point just backward of square. Here's Leach again, and edge and gone. Caught by Craig Overton. The short leg's a good position for the right-hander as he comes down the track, Toby Albert, and clears mid-on. Doesn't quite get a hold of it, but it is going to trickle its way towards the cow corner bound.
And bowls to Albert. Appeal this time for LBW and gone. That one looked much more like it.
Brown faces up and inside edges. It's gone down towards fine leg, so he is off the mark and it's bobbling its way down to the boundary and just jumps over. Both indexing. It almost looks as if his grip is red, but he's facing up to Leach and he whips through square leg. Really nice shot there. Beats square leg on his left shoulder, and that's winning the race with ease.
Gregory bowls and appeal for LBW. He's in, bowls a full length and turned away out to deep square leg for 4 runs. Over pitch there. Gregory to Brown, who plays this into the offside, through the offside for 4 runs. Tom Abel dived in vain.
So 69 in total. Here's Leach over the wicket. Sweep shot there from Lehman. It's going for 4. Thought it might just have hit the short leg initially.
Approach up to the wicket and bowls, and this is punched away through the offside by Lehman. It will be cut off by Will Smead, and they'll come back for 2 runs, and that is the Jake Lehman 50 from 94 balls. Ogbourne in and bowls to him again, and bowls him! well bowled Alfie Ogbourne. Ogbourne going around the wicket to Mays, who just lets that run off the face of the bat down towards third man, and it will go over the boundary.
As he begins his career, this is Brown on strike, and his edge has gone through the gap between the keeper and first slip. And Root.
Perhaps. Here's Archie Vaughan. Now down the wicket, hits him high over mid-on. Good shot, that one from Ben Mays. There is a fielder 3/4 of the way back at mid-on. It's gone way over his head.
Mays sets up again and faces Lammonby. It's edge just past first slip. And a diving Overton can't quite get there.
To settle for a draw.
Lamby's in, a nice strong cut shot there by Brown. Through extra cover. And the mid-off gives up in pursuit. A tricky task. Here's Lammonby, final ball of the morning session. And it's a nice punch through cover point. And Ben Brown finishes the morning session with a couple of boundaries.
Surprise sports commentary hasn't been tried on AI.
Well, it's interesting
Perhaps
you
it has.
say that. It's always bowled. He's got through the defences of Ben Mays there. Ben Mays can't quite believe it, just takes his time walking back. Here's Archie Vaughan. Down the wicket comes Brown. Drives that nicely through mid-wicket. Nice use of his feet, nice placement. Neatly along the ground. And that's his half-century.
Ball in and bowls. This is cut away through the offside. Lovely shot, 4 runs. To our left, but they've run 2. And Dawson down the pitch, hitting this in the air, and is caught by Tom Abel.
Bowls very short this time, pulled out towards the fine leg boundary and a good piece of fielding out there. Oh no, it's been parried over the rope before.
Vaughan in and bowls, and a big swing, and not sure whether that came off the inside edge. It's going to go for 4. It's 4 byes, in fact.
Go his way as Overton's running in from the hotel end, and it's just played down towards third man. Quite fine, actually. I think he's beat the man who's very wide down there. He is.
You might see a picture of him somewhere around the place. It's bowled. Done the trick straight away. Lewis Gregory celebrates as well. That's a big wicket. Right, Gregory from the pavilion end once more. This time to Abbott. Oh, it's bowled. Whoa, this is a spell and a half here from Lewis Gregory.
Overton in and bowls, and this is turned down to fine leg, and it's gone for 4 runs.
Round the wicket into Jack. Oh, and another. Oh, now they've gone up for that. Has he got a little nick on that? Or has he actually clipped? He's clipped the bails, I think, and the stumps. I think he's bowled him. Either way, it's 9 down. Bowled by Gregory. Jack is out for 2. That's exactly what's happened there. And I have to say, what was that, the 3rd, 4th ball he's bowled in almost that identical area. He's just kept at it.
Terrific bowling. To Baker. Oh, and this squirts off the inside edge. He'll pick up 2 and they'll take the 2. In fact, he'll pick up 4.
and goes deeper here on the offside. That's a deep extra cover position, really. Into the pads, LBW appeal, look the umpire out. LBW, Baker's gone for 4, Gregory picks up another, it's 5 for Gregory, terrific work from the skipper. 5 wickets means the Hampshire all out for 336, 286 in front. Well, he's led from the front this afternoon. You take.
He's running in past the umpire towards us, and it's a good leave just outside the off stump. Past the umpire, right arm over and tap down towards fine leg, and that's going to be 4 to start the day off for Somerset's batters.
Second innings, and that's nicely played off the back foot. Width there from Yusuf, and Archie Vaughan puts that away. Yusuf runs away from us. Bowls Fuller this time, and that's worked through mid-wicket, 4 runs.
What they're meant to be, is it? As Kyle Abbott bowls, and it brings about the outside edge from Archie Vaughan, and that's going to be 4 runs down towards the third man boundary.
Past the umpire and bowls, and that's nicely played by Vaughan into the covers, and that's 4 runs. That's nicely timed. Easy as you like, that one.
It's very reminiscent of his father.
Wasn't it? There's one out there for that. Length ball pushes forward off the outside half of the bat, and that's running down to third man. That's going for 4 more. Useful runs here as Vaughan moves on to 30, which I'm sure most people do. As Baker comes in again, shorter, pulled away by Vaughan. It's in the air, and he's caught a deep square leg for the 2nd time in the game.
What did I say?
Can't resist it, can he?
Quite a brave shot to play against Kyle Abbott. Gets away with it, 38 for 1. Bowls, and this time he's punching that away through the offside. That's going to be 4 runs. Nice shot, just a little bit of width from Kyle Abbott. Oh, it takes him on the pad and gone. That's the end of Josh Thomas.
It's stuck. That's Cody Yusuf, and Sonny Baker has done it again. This time it's Tom Lannonby. He's gone for 9. Colour. Here's Baker. Rue's chasing that one a little bit outside the off stump, but he gets most of the bat on that as it goes out to Eddie Jack at third man. And I was fortunate to sit with him at Shardalow's when I played for Amersham. He was so generous with his time and wisdom. Look him up, a very interesting.
Explained. Dawson bowls. This is slog swept by James Rue for 4 runs. He moves on to 7. He's only faced 11 deliveries. James Rue enjoying the majority of the strike.
As he tries to pull that away, there's an example of him not being in total control.
There you are.
4 for 8. Here's Cody Yusuf, bowls, and Rue drives. Again, it's come off the outside half of the bat. It's running down to third man where, no way,
far
Eddie
away
Jack.
from goal.
So they got off to a quick start. They were 33 for none off 7 overs. This time a sweep
That's a
through
good shot.
square leg, and that's already hit the boundary. 104 for 3. As he walks in. A reverse sweep from Rue, and it beats the fielder. It's beaten short third man on the fine side. It's also just gone past the... Here comes Dawson. Again, another sweep shot. And that's just a single as he gets through to 50. It's his 14th in first-class cricket.
Jack bowls. Rue flicks that away down to fine leg. It's going for 4. Wicket. Here we go. Last ball. Rue plays that to mid-wicket, and there we are. End of day 3. Rue finishes 58 not out. Tom Abel 27, and Somerset at 139 for 3 in their second innings. From here, need another 140.
He's bowling to Tom Abel, and that's a full pitch delivery, which is met by a broad Tom Abel bat and played out into the offside.
Still, Somerset have 7 second innings wickets intact as Abbott comes in to Rue, edges through, and he has carried this time.
Bowls. And a run here, probably 4 runs.
And Smead hits that off the back foot, lovely shot in the gap, and that's going for 4. Right, here's Abbott. And that's a thick outside edge, but there's more runs, and it's running down to third man, and it's going to be 4 more.
Yusuf bowls. Abel turns this away through the onside, and it's gone for 4. It's in the air for a time.
I think Essex have lost another wicket there, 5 down at Warwickshire. Nice drive through the covers. That will be Abel's 50. Fielded on the boundary by Eddie Jack, and Abel moves on to 51 off 118 balls with 3 fours. I can't see anybody on the roof. That's a bit of width, and that is caught it back with a point. Mistake from Will Smead.
He is now, and he bowls down the track. He's bowled! Liam Dawson goes running off in Alan Shearer style. You know, the man, the man I'm looking for tips, saying that these are not necessarily the the way to do it.
Yeah, 4 runs.
Baker in and bowls. This is cut away down to deep backward square, deep backward point for 4 runs. Short and wide from Sonny Baker.
Press final ball of the morning session. Bowls and a defensive shot to finish. 2-2-3 for 6 Somerset. The game stands.
Gregory will take him on the pad and.
Abbott again, bowls. It's between keeper and first slip, but I don't think it would have carried. But he has found the gap.
As Dawson's in, and down the track comes Tom Abel and whips it away through mid-wicket. I can reassure you, as Abbott bowls and a whip through mid-wicket, glorious shot. The new ball races away to the boundary through that straight mid-wicket region.
Gregory hammers this away through the offside for 4. The target goes down.
262 for 6. Baker bowls. He's bowled him, and there's the breakthrough. Into Ogbourne, and Ogbourne pushes forward, and that is down to third man, and there's the 4.
What did I say? Just got a bit carried away there, I think, Alfie Ogbourne. Going for glory. Abbott to Abel. He turns this away through the onside for 4 runs.
To Leach, length ball. Leach off the back foot, cracks that away. That'll be 4, I think. Hasn't quite reached the rope. It has now.
Here at the Utilita Bowl, it's 100 for Tom Abel, 101 not out, and Somerset have beaten Hampshire by 2 wickets in an absolutely thrilling finish to a great game of cricket.
for-7 as the Glamorgan players come out onto the pitch now, led by the two umpires, Ben Denham and Debenham, and Mike Newell. So they've avoided Hampshire their record defeat against Glamorgan, which was back in 1948, but they are still staring down the barrel here, unless there can be an extraordinary rearguard resistance led by the captain Ben Brown, you would think, who has played some nice shots in his 82 not out. Yusuf is not on 11. We've had 82 overs, so the new ball has been taken just before lunch. The wickets to fall today: Felix Organ was LBW, Jamie McElroy. Then Mason Crane, the leg spinner, took 2 wickets. He dispatched Scott Curry, LBW, and then Kyle Abbott was caught Ingram, bowled Mason Crane as the two batsmen head onto the pitch. Alongside me is Kevin James, as it has been for the last 3 days or so, but it's just he and thee today for the dying embers of this game, Kev.
Yes, that's right. Yes, we did 2 hours 15 minutes this morning in the hope that Glamorgan hoped that they would get another wicket and then we could have extended a bit further, but they didn't. 112 runs were added in that 2 hours of 15 minutes session for the loss of those 3 wickets, and Mason Crane once more was in superb control of his bowling. His spell this morning: 13 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 22. Hampshire still 92 runs in arrears, 92 runs away from making Glamorgan bat again.
So it'll be Tim van Hookten from the far end, continuing where he left off. He has he's into his 17th over in this innings, 2 for 50 so far. Yusuf unbeaten on 11, Ben Brown on 82, but more importantly, he's been there for 124 balls. As Van der Hoogten bowls again from the pavilion end. Yusuf plays that comfortably up towards mid-on, no run. Hampshire 230 for 8, at least hoping to make Glamorgan bat again, you would think. But there is time on Glamorgan's side. Neil Thornycroft contacts me on X saying, "Come on, Rob Phillips, bring it home." Well, can't do much about it from up here, but I'll do my best, Neil. Welcome to you. Van Houten, who's going to have far more effect, I'm sure, bowls that and played straight back past him, but no run. 3 dot balls in a row so far. The thought in the press room across the other side was that we shouldn't be too long, but you just never know. In fact, one of the people there was musing that it had already gone on longer than they thought it might. Van der Hoogten in again. Yusuf fends off a ball that slightly gets up off a length. And there's no run. I was talking to the Glamorgan coach driver yesterday. They assign a driver to each sort of, because they also do the Wales football team coaches and age group teams. Lovely bunch, he said. A joy to deal with, the Glamorgan players. I'm sure the Hampshire coach driver would say much the same. Van der Hoogten in, and Yusuf tickles that away on the leg side. He's going to go through for 1, moves up to 12, and Ben Brown will face on 82, 231 for 8. They're trailing now by 91. We may have to look at that figure more and more, Kevin, as we go on this afternoon. In case there is a Glamorgan second innings. Remember, Hampshire are following on.
I think it'll be a great effort to get Glamorgan in again.
Yeah. Van der Hoogten tries to winkle out the captain, but without success on that. So just the one off the over. Hampshire 231 for 8. Remember, we took lunch at 1:15 because Glamorgan opted for the extra 15 minutes. And as Kevin was telling us, had they got a wicket in that time, there would have been an extra half an hour, but that didn't happen. We've still got 59 overs remaining today. Jamie McElroy is coming on from this near end, the hotel end. He's got 2 for 36 off his 16 so far. Took the first wicket this morning. Dispatching Felix Organ, LBW.
In he comes. It's down the leg side to Yusuf. I got an email actually during lunch. We were talking about Steve Barwick, or we mentioned Steve Barwick, the Glamorgan medium pacer who played for the county between 81 and 96. A sort of a pace that probably wouldn't be seen too much today, but he kind of developed his bowling, didn't he? And when he just bowled off cutters the whole time, and actually became pretty hard work to face actually. And the email I got was quite a nice one actually, from Jim Druitt. And his forward is Yusuf, goes out to extra cover, Hampshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk. Enjoying you both talking about various cricket stories, and you mentioned Basil Barwick. Basil started his career as a pace bowler and to lengthen his career developed a slower pace, which you don't see many cricketers do these days, which is a shame as they could have had a longer career. I remember he once bowled the entire day on one occasion because of a depleted bowling attack due to injuries. He believes Ed Bevan recalls that one. Ed, we know, was listening and watching earlier this morning. As McElroy bowls, again it's down the leg side. Anyway, after retirement from cricket, Basil became a hospital porter. As a fellow hospital porter, full respect. Keep up the good work, says Jim, an avid Glamorgan fan and also a Newport County season ticket holder. I knew there'd be one somewhere.
They've been in the ascendancy this weekend, haven't they? Because it was such a dramatic end for them. Got one for you here, Kevin, as well, from Chasing the Dragon again. You may be there.
McElroy bowls. Yusuf clips that away down to fine leg for a single, 232 for 8.
So, Chasing the Dragon was paying attention when a Hampshire fan was on to us and said, reminded me when I was a teenager, I moved from Wales and saw Hampshire at the Maze Bounty Ground in Basingstoke. Such a beautiful ground. Robin Smith scored loads there. The Hampshire miss playing there. Do you play there, Kev?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a tiny ground by first-class standards, very tiny. Here's McElroy bowls. Again, it's down the leg side. One or two got excited thinking it hit the bat, but I think it came off the thigh pad. Yeah, it was one of those grounds that I think a lot of our grounds, they were great in their day, you know, because it was an in thing, wasn't it, for a while. But really, the dressing rooms were the tiniest rooms you could ever wish to have. And the whole ground itself was, but it was good. The reason Hampshire played there was because they used to get a lot of corporate hospitality, so they used to sell that out comfortably when we played there. But yeah, it was in the end it sort of outgrew its usefulness really. And of course this ground, as it's played out on the onside by Brown, and there's no run. When you've paid so much for a ground such as this, then it it's not economically viable to then start playing elsewhere when this ground's sitting here idle.
And Tom 906 on X says, as my local club, I miss going there, that's for sure. The trip down to the Rose Bowl can be a bit of a, I'm not sure I should say the word at times, awkward, I think he meant. Difficult.
That's probably because it's outside of Cardiff.
Yeah. So Tim van der Hoogten said earlier this morning, Glamorgan are on the brink. Are they going to get closer to the brink? Not with that ball. Goes straight past Cody Yusuf's off stump. No run. Yusuf was LBW in the first innings. And van der Hoogten Turns at the little stop at the start of his run. Now he gets into his stride. Not too quick, but quick enough, and gets that Yusuf away. It's a dash single, and actually the stumps were hit, but Ben Brown was comfortably home. 233 for 8 now. Good sliding throw, actually.
One stunt to aim at.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Seen a fair bit of that this game, haven't we? A couple of
yeah.
run-outs like that. Oh, one run-out, great run-out by, I think it was Middleton, wasn't it? In the Fletcher Middleton in the first innings.
The only way they could park Carson and...
it was, yeah.
Son.
Van der Hookten in again. Brown that played at that when past his outside edge. 2 slips for Van der Hookten. There's a cover, a deep backward cover as well. There's a third man, a fine leg. There's a deep square leg, mid on, and a mid off. Not too attacking. But we've said it often enough this game, Carlson hasn't had to be. That's tickled away into the leg side by Brown. He'll scamper upfield for 1. He moves to 84 now, I think. No, 83, and the score is 234 for 8. And Hampshire are trailing by 88.
Paul Fowler has messaged saying that he misses May's Bounty Ground in Basingstoke. He went there for 2 days against Yorkshire, he believes. Well, if that's the game I'm thinking of there, Sachin Tendulkar played in that one.
And hooked and balls again. Yusuf played at that. Ended up with Cook behind the stumps. It's a good delivery this by Van der Hookten. Came in. It went between bat and pad, broke through Cody Yusuf's defences and just past the stumps. 2 outriders are pushed towards the boundary. Point drops back to deep point, and the square leg back on the boundary again now for Cody Yusuf. As Van der Hookten bowls. Straight down the wicket, no run. End of the over, 234 for 8. Hampshire, Ben Brown, 83. Cody Yusuf, 13 not out.
Just being reminded of another game. You know, we were talking about Welsh grounds that I played at. I've missed one out. And I've just been reminded of a game that was played, a championship game between Glamorgan and Hampshire. Oh, I'll tell you why, it's because I didn't play in it. Played at Pontypridd.
Oh, Pontypridd, where I was bred.
Was it? Yeah.
And I sung Harrod Park. Do you want to try that one?
No, because I'm glad you said it, because I looked at what it said and I thought there's no way. I would have just said Pontypridd. Obviously.
Yeah, those of us from Ponty say it's the Athens of the North.
Here's McElroy, left arm over, bowls, and Brown is forward. Hampshire win that game by 8 wickets, actually, but yeah, I didn't play that one. So thank you for the email anyway from Richard Boyle. He says he thinks I played. No, I've just looked up the scorecard. It would have been dropped one of the many times.
Yeah, lovely place, Ponty.
Yeah, the Athens of the North.
Yes, that's what I call it.
Oh, you do?
Centre of the world, whatever you want to say. Born in Newport, but moved to Ponty when I was quite young.
McElroy bowls. Brown steers that into the covers off the back foot, and we'll pick up one more, and he moves on to 84. Hampshire 235 for 8.
Keith Davis is asking me, how's the light, Rob? Well, it's okay as far as I can see. There's a grey cloud above, but light is pretty good. In fact, it's very good. No problems with that at the moment.
I'm trying to think of one or two other grounds. Pentag, was that another ground? He played some second team cricket there.
Penturk.
Penturk.
Or Panteg in Gwen Valleys. McElroy bowls.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, it was you.
That's
You're
right.
right.
That's okay.
Yeah, Panteg is near Cwmbran.
Okay. And I think they used to play a little bit of Barry Island, didn't they, years ago? I'm sure there was some second team cricket there years back.
So you've done your time in the...
No, I didn't play there. No, I never played there.
Right,
I remember
okay.
one or two cricketers when I first started. I remember one.
Hope that wasn't deliberate.
They usually said that it was they had a good time down there. Short, one of the few short balls we've seen McElroy bowl, and Youssef ducks underneath that one. Yeah, I'll look that one up actually. That's interesting because they certainly don't use that anymore, do they?
No, no.
Barry Island. Everybody knows why that's famous. Don't even need to mention it.
So we won't.
Fun fair, I hear you
Just
say.
say Gavin and Stacey.
Oh, well,
Okay, I won't mention it.
Here's McElroy, and Youssef pushes forward to that one, goes back to the bowler. I'm just trying to think when the last games, I'm going to guess about 1980 something. But that is a huge guess. I'm talking either first team or second team. Probably second team mainly. I'm struggling to find. Oh, hang on.
I have an email from someone who calls themselves Barwick's #1 fan.
Oh. Steve Barwick himself. It's wrapped on the pad there as the ball goes out behind square on the leg side. McElroy completes his 18th over, 2 for 38. Hampshire 235 for 8.
It's actually Dominic in Whitchurch, which is an area of Cardiff. Loving the commentary from you and Kevin James. Hope for a Glamorgan win. I wonder if you could give a shout out to my old mate Whispering Phil Davis from Hirwine, which is not too far from Merthyr, who's celebrating his 60th year as a Glamorgan member. He's a huge Steve Barwick fan, so much so that he's turned his dining room into a shrine to Basil.
No.
Yes. Containing artifacts such as replica shirts, a pair of bowling boots, and a full-size Barwick mannequin. Hang on, there's more. In comes Van Hookton. Bowls, and Brown plays that away on the leg side. This is brilliant. Brown moves to 84. The score to 235 for 8. So let's get that right again. He's turned his front dining room into a shrine to Barwick. Artifacts such as replica shirts, pair of bowling boots, full-size Barwick mannequin, complete with a genuine moustache. Phil is not only a fanatical Glamorgan fan. Oh, there's even better to come here. I just love doing this cricket. Van Hookton in from the far end, the pavilion end. There is a game going on, but Glamorgan are struggling to winkle out the last 2 wickets. He's also the proprietor, this is Whispering Phil Davis, of the Shetland Ponyo Rodeo Show, which is an events company that provides people under 5'1" with an opportunity to experience the thrill of the rodeo in relative safety. Best wishes from Dominic in Whitchurch, Cardiff. That has to take the biscuit, doesn't it? As perhaps the best email we've had. Apologies to everybody else. Van Hookton in again. Cody Youssef this time plays this down to third man, just for the 1 run.
Yeah, he was such an unassuming guy as well, Steve Barwick. Just such a polite guy. You know, he's one of those that when you knew you were playing against him, you could have a chat with him. You know, just so polite.
Well, little did he know that there's a shrine in his honour.
I know. Well, does he know?
I mean, imagine you go round to Whispering Phil's for dinner and say, "Who's that?"
I think if I saw that, I'd run out the door.
Wow, love a picture. Van Hookton bowls from the far end. Again, Brown is keen to, I think he sniffs a century here. Keen to get off strike again. He goes up to 86 and the score to 238 for 8. And what I mean get off the strike, I don't mean he's trying to avoid it. He's just trying to keep the scoreboard ticking over. As Van Hookton moves in once more. Youssef plays it into the onside. 2 fielders converge. No run.
And that last second team game at Barry Island was played back in 1979. Glamorgan, Nottinghamshire second team. Now, I remember when I said about cricketers, mention it because when I joined Middlesex in 1980, some of the players there were saying, oh, you know, Barry Island was a great spot. And Middlesex played the second to last game there in 78.
Van der Hookton in once more. And it beats Yusuf that time. Shout from behind, but I don't think there was any sort of touch on that. So that is his over complete. Van der Hookton, 2 for 55 from his 19 overs so far. Talking about Pontypridd brings back memories of Christopher Phillips, no relation. Memories of my time at the Glamorgan Polytechnic in the 70s. Yeah, with digs in Treforest, which is just outside, and Unisable, YNYSYBWL.
I'm not even going to attempt any of these. Here's McElroy. It's great stuff. He comes in again and bowls. Brown nudges that into the gap on the offside and will accept the single. Moves on to 87, 239 for 8. Just quickly going back to Barry Island, there was actually some further Glamorgan second 11 games, but not actually second 11 competition games. They did play in 1987 against the Haringey Cricket College. Remember that? Haringey Cricket College. The likes of Keith Piper were playing for them in those days. The former Warwickshire wicket keeper. And Reg Scarlett, the former West Indian player that was their manager, played in that game as well, obviously making up the numbers there. Here's McElroy, just jags back and hits Yusuf on the thigh pad.
Johnny Gaffer says, afternoon both, great conversations with you all in the past 4 days. With reference to Basil, Steve Barwick, the stranglehold that Roland Lefebvre and himself had on teams in the early 90s will never be seen again due to the way the modern game is played.
Well, Roland Lefebvre, it was similar pace actually, and he was on trial at Hampshire when we were there, and it didn't quite work out, so he obviously got some games then with Glamorgan. I remember him, Dutch player.
He was, yeah.
Played back to the bowler by Yusuf. Yeah, he was a good guy as well. Yeah, similar pace, both of them. Actually, very. I don't want to do Barwick a disservice, but I've got a feeling he was a bit of a smoker as well. And please don't kill me on messaging service if that's totally untrue. But there's something in the back of my mind that I seem to remember him. If he wasn't on the field to play, I remember sort of seeing him, you know, on the other side of the boundary having a fag or two. But I could be wrong. Here's McElroy. In behind that one is Yusuf. Batting seems to be relatively simple at the moment.
I was going to say there's not much happening for either of these, is there?
Might be time for Mason Crane to come back on shortly.
Should be willing and able. Neil Thornycroft says, talking about grounds, I've seen Rodney Ontong get a century at Ebbw Vale, Eugene Cross Park. Jacques Callis got 155 at Anasangharad Park. It's easy when you know how, Kev. Both Sunday League. And Steve James got a century at Abergavenny.
Okay. McElroy again. Yusuf drives on the up out towards extra cover.
That is pen a pound, that ground. Lovely ground at Abergavenny.
Is it?
Home ground of the Glamorgan Director of Cricket, Mark Wallace.
Oh.
And I got a feeling Geraint Jones might have had connections with Abergavenny.
I'll have a look at that up in a minute. Before I do, you can certainly read that one from Paul Fowler, because I'm not going to even attempt that.
Right. Okay.
Here's McElroy again. Yusuf just hangs his bat out there, withdraws as it goes through to the keeper. End of the over, 239 for 8.
So this is Paul Fowler. I know Pontypridd well, not far from where my dad lived in Fochrw. Fochriw, before anybody thinks they've misheard the commentary, which is sort of top of the Rumney Valley and Merthyr.
Okay. Once had a curry in Merthyr.
Well, I can tell you, it is famous for one culinary delight. If you've got to watch Merthyr Town play, the Merthyr cob is a thing of beauty.
Okay, well,
I'll explain. As Tim van der Hoogten comes in from the far end, and that's pulled down towards fine leg by Ben Brown. There is a fine leg there, who is throws it back in. Just the one run for Brown. He's edging towards that 100, you have to say. He is 88. Sure, Glamorgan will hope he gets nervous in the 90s if he gets that far. It's Cody Youssef at the moment, about to face Van der Hoogten from the pavilion end. 2 slips. Youssef hurried into that, but plays it comfortably. No run. And no vowels in Utilita Bowl, Andrew Bennett points out. Lots of Welsh words without vowels, and a few English ones too, like hymn and rhythm, without you having to guess. Yeah, the Merthyr cob is, you get half a cob, they pull out the bread, and you have chips, curry, topped with 2 sausages. Van der Hoogten bowls. That wasn't far away. Youssef just prodded at it. Went through to Chris Cook. Difficult for us to see up here as he's coming towards us whether that moved at all. No, I think to be fair, Youssef played inside it. The score remains on 240 for 8. They're having to be patient here, Glamorgan. Not particularly attacking fields. The 2 slips, which are Ingram and Tribe. As Van der Hoogten bowls again, and Youssef flat bats that out to Carlson. That cover, who won't be pressing any panic buttons at the moment. But probably thinks he'd like to get it done. Get a suggestion here from Robert Logan, who says maybe Chuck Kellaway on, try something different. Well, we haven't seen Ben Kellaway bowl in this game yet. He's just coming back from a hip injury, as we've said. Van der Hoogten in again from the far end. Again, Youssef waves that pass. He says on X, this is at Rob Phillips here on X, Glamorgan cricket at bbc.co.uk. You want to get in touch, also Rob Phillips here.beastguide.social and Rob Phillips here on Threads. Great coverage game from all the team. I'm a Llandaff North boy, exiled in Plymouth, where I used to live as well. We have, I believe, a mutual friend in Ross Reed. You do indeed. I saw Ross earlier in the football season. Maybe Chuck Kellaway on to try something different. There we are. As Van der Hoogten bowls, Youssef's run across to that. And Garen Jones on X says, if I had to guess, I'd say quarterfinal of the NatWest Trophy. I think Robin Smith was playing. I don't know, we've talked about so many games, I'm not sure which one he means. But
I looked up a few List A games earlier. It's probably one of those that I sort of scrolled over. The late Robin Smith. Such a shame the news that came through during the winter.
Yeah.
There's a memorial service at Winchester Cathedral for Robin in June. So, some new gloves, I think, for Ben Brown.
I'm being reprimanded over my pronunciation of Fochru. He said, please pronounce the in Cymraeg, not like, so it's not Fochru, it's Fochru. There you go. Consider yourself told off, Rob.
There we go. We got some Ryan Hadley here. Oh, it's not Ryan Hadley. What am I saying?
Yeah,
it is Ryan Hadley.
I think it is. Yeah.
Apologies. Looked like a bit of a loosener, that one. Steve Clark says, I'm up for a Shetland pony rodeo. I've got a longish email here, actually, from Eddie Howarth, Hampshire cricketer, bbc.co.uk. He says, thank you for the brilliant commentary, always illuminating and balanced. That's nice. I want to ask a question you probably don't want me to ask. Where do Hampshire start to rebuild, batters or bowlers, and when do they concede that they need to? Just a few years ago, the sublime seam attack of Abbott, Abbas and Barker, as Hadley comes in, and in behind that one is Yusuf. Contributed around 50 wickets a year, and James Vince regularly chipped in with 1,000 runs. And then, of course, Dawson added useful wickets and runs. Those 4 or 5 players papered over the cracks of a wholly inadequate squad. I don't advocate the football culture where managers are fired willy-nilly, but at what point do we actually look at the fact that there's been a batting coach for a few seasons and it hasn't really been working?
Over to you, Kev.
Well, I have kind of tried to explain. I
Yeah.
don't speak for the club, obviously, of course I don't. But I think they are trying to address things. You know, they do have a group of talented youngsters, both bat and ball. Off the back foot is Yusuf. And it's now they are giving them all a chance and saying, look, you know, there are places up for grabs, take them. And until you do that, you can't find out if these guys are any good. You know, and it was great having Abbas, it was great having Barker, but it meant that, you know, your likes of your Brad Wheels and, you know, ultimately your Sonny Bakers coming through and Eddie Jacks, you know, you would never really find out if they were any good or not. And they've all got pedigree, as you know, as we know. Eddie Jack's been an England under-19 player now for quite a while, and he's now sort of in those periphery of the squad training camps, as that's a full delivery bowled. There's the 9th wicket down, off stump, out of the ground. Cody Yusuf replaying his drive, but it's got through, and it is 241 for 9. And yes, just played slightly outside the line. May got a slight inside edge on that, but the off stump can't win.
Just as I got a message from Tom Parry Jones. Hi, Tom. Glamorgan making things difficult for themselves in the 9th wicket, for this 9th wicket. If they don't win by an innings in the next half hour, I'll be disappointed. That arrived at 2:24 just a second ago. Never mind! Exclamation marks. So this is contemporaneous interaction as the wickets fall. People correcting themselves as they go. But it was starting to, you know, I could understand the initial text. Oh, hang on, they are making hard work of it, but that's a lovely delivery. Through Yusuf, clipped the outside of off stump.
Yeah, it was probably just over an hour's play there since the previous wicket of Kyle Abbott. Those two put on 45.
Yeah, and Ben Brown, well, he's on 88 not out. He has provided much more than just stubborn resistance. He's done really well, I think, as Ben Brown.
Ken Bryant on the same subject. Ken's in Ashurst. This is the gateway to the New Forest from Southampton. He says he's got every confidence in Russell Domingo, that he'll get the lads' confidence back too. As I say, it's still early days. I know it's 4 games into the season, but you know, you've got to give these guys a chance. He says for the Essex game he'd have Alior and Middleton opening, Gubbins at 3, Prest, Albert, Mays, Brown, Dawson or Organ, depending on Dawson's injury, Abbott, Yusuf and Baker. That's his side for next week. Hopefully Lehman in that. Right, do you want to take over?
Well, am I tempting fate? Is it going to go on for another hour?
I'm hoping you lose your voice.
Yeah, okay.
It'll take so long.
So, Sonny Baker and Ben Brown stand between Glamorgan and their first county championship win in Division 1 since promotion. Their first, of course, because they've not been here for a long time, for 21 years. As Hadley goes in, beats the number 11 Baker, and you've got to say they've deserved it when they get it, because they have dominated almost from the time, well, they have dominated from the time that they lost the toss and Ben Brown asked them to bat. Should quickly say, if you've not been listening, Kieran Carlson said he would have done exactly the same as Ben Brown on that opening morning, where it was green when the pitch is not quite as green now, as Ryan Hadley moves in again from the near end. Solid forward defence from Baker. Tom Parry-Jones says, bowl at the stumps, make them play. Well, that's exactly what Ryan Hadley did then to take his second wicket. 13 overs, 4 maidens, 2 for 32.
I'll just sit back, really, turn my mic off and listen to you for the rest of the game, Rob, I think.
Let's hope they make short work of this then.
Well, it would be nice if Ben Brown gets 100 before the end, because he has worked so hard and he's probably taking these defeats personally, so that might help.
Van der Hoogten as Glamorgan look for the final breakthrough, and that's slashed forward drive, and that is straight through for 4 runs. He goes to, was that all the way then? 94, it may well have been, you know. I think it was, yeah, it was. I do him a disservice. So Ben Brown gets a 94. Maybe he's decided now that he better get a move on if he wants 100. There's still 51 overs to go today, Ben. Don't worry about it. Problem is he's got the number 11 with him. Van der Hoogten, as the field spreads now, as Ben Brown is going to be expansive, and he pulls that to square leg, doesn't move, deep square leg that is. It was aerial for a while, and I think if he wants to do that they will feed him with that, but he was that's a lovely shot, the straight drive, and that was comfortably over the boundary at the far end. Glamorgan now really are on the brink. One more wicket to win. Brown hooks, or attempted to, but it went straight through to Chris Cook. Tim van der Hoogten, stung by the 6 off his first delivery, is now 2 for 63 in 21. And I may be home for supper. But you never know. Van der Hoogten bowls again. Brown fires that up towards mid-off. Attempted catch, I think, but it wasn't gathered. It may have dropped a bit short anyway. They've nipped through for 2.
I don't know, I think McIlroy may just have got there. It was awkward in the end.
Yeah, I think he did. I'm not sure it was McIlroy.
Was it McIlroy?
Oh yes, yeah, it was. Yeah, he's just putting his hat back on now. So Brown has definitely decided he's got to try and get to the 100 in double quick time. Well, he might do it now because he's on 96 and he's going for everything at the moment. Saying that, Van der Hoogten tucks him up with the ball that was coming back into the Hampshire captain. Just seeing that shot out towards long off again. It was McIlroy who just couldn't grip it as it dropped.
Can I quickly read this out because we're coming towards the end, aren't we? Griff Holmes, who signs off saying a half Welsh Hampshire fan currently in Coventry. That's a title. Before the fall of the 9th wicket, I was typing this email to joke I believed Hampshire would pass the 5-3-6, but probably not now. What a title that is.
Van der Hoogten bowls again. Brown went for a big shot once more, and now he has to wait because he's on 96 and Cody Yusuf is Sonny Baker is now facing Ryan Hadley, who has just bowled Yusuf for 15. Hit the stumps, that one.
So where are we? Just after 2:30 on day 4. Still 51 overs left in the day. Still yonks of time.
So Ryan Hadley is been useful to Glamorgan. It's been a decent signing. As I said, he often looks better in not so much his first spell, sometimes in later spells. But he's not express pace, but he's quick enough to trouble people. Ruffle feathers, as Glamorgan predicted in the press release announcing his arrival. He's running away from us now. He bowls. Baker gets everything behind that. 2 slips, a gully, point, cover, mid-off, 2 on the onside, and then a fine leg as well. Glamorgan looking for the elusive last wicket. The Hampshire still trail by 73. Hadley takes a fairly long run up. Gets to the umpire now. Balls from this hotel end. Played straight back down to the New South Wales bowler.
Well, Sonny Baker's job obviously is to stick around out there, but I think most of all to help his captain get to 3 figures.
Yeah.
I think that's just something. It's a token, really, if he gets to 100, because it hasn't been easy for him at all out there, but he's battled seriously hard to get to that point.
Ryan Hadley runs away from us. Baker faces up again. It's it came off the handle. It's gone past the 2 slips and down for 4 runs. So he managed to get Hampshire past the 250 mark. 3rd slip, I think, would have swallowed that up. Hampshire moved to 253 for 9. But the big number there is the 9. He's got to survive 3 more balls or get a run and get his captain on strike. Hadley bowls, and that was had to move out the way there, and that one got up. Smile at the bowler, smile back as well. I think he knew that was coming.
At the moment, this is assumed to finish now. This would be the 2nd highest win for Glamorgan against Hampshire, because in 1937 in Southampton, Glamorgan won by an innings and 68. And at the moment, it's an innings and 69.
Yeah.
We've already gone past the worst defeat in 1948, which we mentioned earlier.
Hadley past the umpire now. Balls over the wicket, straight through, past the outside edge of Sonny Baker. 1 more ball for him to survive before Brown can, in his mind, get to that 100. He's 96 not out, Ben Brown. He's provided great resistance, you have to say, as others have walked away from him. Wickets tumbled at the other end, but he's been positive today. Played some lovely cover drives early on this morning, and he'll just hope that Sonny Baker can last 1 more ball so he gets another chance. And if he goes hitting big, well, at least he's tried. Hadley now in, away from us, bowls over the wicket. That one got up, but Baker just pulled his bat out of the way, and his head too. No wicket. 253 for 9.
I don't know if that just looped off the pitch there a little bit. Seemed to bounce a little awkwardly. Wearing pitch. Is it too late?
Well, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't put your house on it.
Get 10 in front, might be enough.
Yeah.
Right, well, field scatters as inevitably it was. So Ben Brown will look for the short boundary side here. One of those Kieran Carson flicks will do.
Yeah, they are spread far and wide. Ingram, Cook, the wicketkeeper, is the closest to him. The rest are scattered as Van Hookton bowls. Plays it out to the offside behind square, where Zainul Hassan, who helped set up victory with his unbeaten 143 career best in the first innings, fields. And that mammoth partnership with Kieran Carlson, who ended on his career best as well of 209. Van Hookten in, Brown puts it back to the bowler.
Yeah, this could be interesting over here because Brown knows the sort of ball he's looking for. Van der Gooten knows the sort of ball he'll try and avoid. This could be an interesting little passage.
Van der Hookten turns back, ball in hand. Now he puts it into his right hand, the bowling hand, over the wicket past the umpire. Brown's solid defence out to Zainul Hassan again. No run. 253 for 9. I can assure Glamorgan supporters that they may be taking their time getting the last couple of wickets, or the one left now, but there's no sign of rain in the air or anything like that, so I probably believe they do have time. And Robert Logan, who was I think the one calling for Ben Kellaway to be given a try, was it you, Rob? He just said, just as well I don't captain Glamorgan. Van Hookten in, Brown drives, punches it into the covers, but it's the fielder, so there's no run. And before we go, Kev, I will give you one last shot at glory from Edward Bevan. No doubt Kev is too modest to tell us of his extraordinary feat of taking 4 in 4 against India and also scoring 100 in the same game in 1996. There we are. End on a high note. As Van Hookten bowls, and he's bowled! And victory for Glamorgan. Their first since promotion in Division 1. Their first for 21 years since they beat Gloucester in Bristol. It's a victory by an innings. Ben Brown, the Hampshire captain, the last one to go, 96. Van der Hookten takes his 3rd wicket of the innings, and Glamorgan will celebrate a milestone victory, their first at the Utilita Bowl arena. And my, haven't they deserved it, having dominated from the toss which they lost on the opening day on Friday. It's a big psychological victory for the Welsh county, newly promoted to the top flight. They will be delighted, and Glamorgan claim the victory, having bowled out Hampshire for 253 in their second innings, and that's a victory by an innings and 69 runs.
Well, I don't think anybody can debate anything other that Glamorgan were the better side from start to finish. They out-bowled Hampshire, they out-batted Hampshire, and at times probably outfielded them as well, but nevertheless Hampshire have been well beaten here, and a little bit of a worry. That's 3 defeats out of 4 now for Hampshire, but yeah, congratulations to Glamorgan. I think they've looked on this showing, they've looked a really good side, and that result in innings and 69 just to confirm that is the 2nd heaviest defeat that Glamorgan have inflicted on Hampshire in championship cricket, and championship matches in numbers between these two sides goes to nearly 130, so that will give you an idea of the significance and the margin of that winning, that win.
Yeah, Tim Van Hookten ended with 3 for 65. Jamie McElroy 2 for 39. There were 3 wickets too for Mason Crane on his return to his former club Hampshire. 3 for 48 in the second innings. Ryan Hadley got 2 for 36. and a few overs from Zainul Hassan and the captain Kieran Carlson. But Kieran Carlson will be a very happy man today. Glamorgan have won this game by an innings and 69 runs. They have made a statement on their return to the County Championship Division 1, and it's the little matter of high-flying Somerset at Sapphire Gardens on Friday.
Rob, thank you very much. Enjoyed
Thank you, Kev.
the time that you've been here. I know you'll have enjoyed it, not just the result, but hopefully everything else. And, well, you've heard Rob. He'll do it again when Glamorgan next in action. The next action here will also be live commentary. It's Hampshire women in action on Wednesday against Somerset, and then Hampshire men are at Essex on Friday, and I'll be here with both those. Thank you very much, Rob.
Cheers, Kev. Thank you.